good?
Or did Caitlin come and get them?
Are you looking?
Let the board sign?
So are we live?
Oh, or not?
We're good? All right.
They're right here.
Yeah, those need to be signed. All right, everyone. We're going to get started. It is July 13th, 2026. It is 6:31 now. And I'm going to start the regular town board meeting for the town of East Troy. We need a roll call.
Reyes here.
Fonz here.
Jones here.
Smith here.
Church here.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Certification of compliance. We have met it with open meeting law. So now we need to swear in our new clerk and treasurer and deputy clerk, I guess, right? And we can do that before the approval of the appointments, Attorney Mills?
Pardon?
We can swear in before the approval of the appointments, which is later? Yeah, okay, good. All right,
That's just the paperwork, right?
so, should we just go up here?
Yeah, or they're red flag. Perfect.
Do we need to hear it, or this will tell us, right?
Yeah, that should pick it up.
Stand up.
Come on now. Repeat after me. I, Caitlin Owens,
I, Caitlin Owens,
have been appointed to the office of clerk in and for the town of East Troy.
have been appointed clerk for the, one more time,
In and for
in and for
the town.
the town of East Troy.
I won't go as far. Swear that I will support
Swear that I will support
the ordinance of the town of East Troy,
the ordinance of the town of East Troy,
the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the United States,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge
and will faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
There you are. Clerk. You need this?
Yeah. No, she has to sign.
Please repeat after me. I, Jean M. Logan,
I, Jean M. Lowe,
have been appointed to the office of Treasurer Deputy Clerk,
I have been appointed to the office of treasurer, deputy clerk,
Police Clerk,
police clerk,
Sanitary District 3 Clerk,
sanitary district 3 clerk
and for the town of
for the town of East Troy.
swear that I will support
Swear that I will support
the ordinances of the town of East Troy,
the ordinances of the town of East Troy,
the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the United States,
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me
so help me God.
All right, thank you. So now we have to approve the meeting agenda. And the minutes, I think,
Yes, I would like to remove from the consent agenda the town meeting minutes from the June regular town board meeting for some edits that I shared.
And then we were going to pull the police report so we can get an update on the boat patrol.
I also have a town minute edit, so that will be done.
Just wait, or I think that's all I know of, those two. So yours, what is your?
There was a section in 10B that said a motion was made to amend 10B, but it didn't say what we were amended to.
10B.
It's,
Oh, in the minutes, that's what I identified as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so
So
we're going to get to the minute.
gonna
I'm
pull
just,
the
Yeah.
I'm just trying
They
to.
already have the edits, right, so we don't have to go through those.
All I'm trying to do is get the agenda approved, right?
Right.
So we're pulling
else
out
on the agenda?
6A and 6F.
And we should pull out the DPW out of the consent agenda?
DPW's got their
D-
submitted report.
We have,
They-
we'll cover it there.
Their standard reports in here, but he's got another agenda
Okay.
item for
Did you want to pull out 10A?
the other review. So it's,
Uh,
Or, no,
Go ahead.
11, were you pulling out 11A?
we want to table 11A, or pull out 11A?
we could pull out.
That's up to
Oh, yeah.
Supervisor.
You can do a
Church.
motion to table when we get to it.
All right.
Okay. Okay,
Just leave it alone then.
leave it alone?
Okay.
Okay.
So we're just pulling out 6A and 6F.
I don't know,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know if this is an agenda update or not, but for the DPW report, I thought we could allow residents on Beulah Heights Road to speak after Todd and the representative from Lynch gives their report if they have questions of the engineer or of DPW. Might be more,
Do we vote on that?
yeah, I don't know.
We should vote,
That
I
would
think.
need a-
And I think that requires
Majority.
a majority, super majority or more majority? I don't remember.
I think it's a majority.
Just a majority
Just
to
a
allow
majority.
people to speak.
Okay.
So my thinking is that these residents are pretty heavily impacted by what's going on over there. We're gonna have a lot of updates tonight. It might give them an opportunity to ask follow-up questions of the engineer and of DPW.
Okay. So do I have a motion
Oh,
to?
Joe? Just 12E. Should say town right of way.
Yeah, it's ton. I saw that. Okay.
That's it.
Typo.
Do I need a motion for that, Jim, for my update, or is that?
I make a motion when that time comes.
Sure, okay.
But we need a motion to approve the agenda with the modifications, right?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as modified.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So we'll move in that fashion. So the next would be to approve the consent agenda, separate from the three. We'll take the next three afterwards. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items B through D, G through M, 1 and 2.
Second.
And E. So you have a second. So any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Do we want to cover the two pullouts later with the department reports? I think that probably is best. All right. So now we're into clerk treasurer's report. Oh, wow.
Yes, so I would propose that the board approve changing the date of the August meeting because it is scheduled for August 10th, which is the day before the election, and this meeting room will be set up with election equipment. I would propose that it be moved to the 17th. However, we need to make sure that it's a date that everyone can meet. I believe the 8th, I believe there was already a conflict with the 17th.
Yeah.
Would the 18th work for everyone?
Oh, I just checked the 17th because I was okay with it.
That's August 18th. Oh, I have Tri-Troy Alliance
Okay,
On the 18th?
on the 18th. On Tuesday nights, I have.
19th.
That's Booth Lake.
Okay, how about the week before? I know that we also we met with the auditor this morning,
The 3rd.
and she is able to meet with us the week before on, I believe she could do it on Wednesday, the 12th. Does that work?
I can make that work.
Yeah, good for me.
Okay. That's okay with the election.
Too late night, but
The 12th works, yeah.
We're gonna keep the agenda short next month. Or-
Yeah.
Do you need a motion then?
Well, I just need to
Yes.
know if everybody, Attorney Mills, can you do that?
I can.
So Wednesday the 12th? Yep, then we need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we move the next regular town board meeting to August 12th.
A second? I'll second it. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So then you want to go into the loan?
Yep. Loan quotes. I went with historic locations, and Board of Commissioner of Public Lands currently for 6 to 10 years, well, total borrowing for the year based on the 2026 budget that was approved by the electors is $1,563,036. Board of Commissioners of Public Lands, 6 to 10-year loan is 6%, 11 to 20 years is 6.5%. Historically, the max anybody goes is 20 years. I did amortizations from the other two banks. So First Citizens State Bank, no administration fees, no prepayment penalty. Board of Commissioners of Public Lands, no administration fees either. 10 years is 5.25. 15 to 20 years at 5.5%. Citizens Bank, no administration fees. I hadn't heard about the prepayment penalty, but I think that they're probably in line with everyone else. 10 years, 5.5%, 15 years at 5.75%. This loan is for multiple expenses, not limited to, including but not limited to the ladder truck, striker system, sound system, roads, Beulah Heights culvert. I did attach amortization schedules from both banks. A 10-year and a 15-year from Citizens Bank, 10 and a 20 from First Citizens.
So we did reduce last year's to not include the ladder truck, because we originally had it in last year, right?
I spent $904,000,
Mm-hmm.
the town did. So I'm just going off what was in the budgeted notes.
I think we reduced the loan last year. I don't remember. I don't have that number.
I was just surprised.
1.5 is what was approved for
The loan-
borrowing for 2026.
The loan last year did not include the ladder truck, which was supposed to be in there, so I know we adjusted it. That's the 1.6 million, 1,673?
1644, I believe.
Here it says 1.673, yeah.
It's on the-
Mm-hmm.
it's on the-
Schedule,
Yes,
1.67.
Yeah, one.
yeah, 1.67829, Michelle. Yeah.
So do we have just a rough idea what was in last year, general, or not? We don't have it?
I did.
Yeah. Are you still concerned, Michelle?
I was just surprised to hear the ladder truck again after I saw the 1.67.
Well,
Last
when we
year.
started this budget year, it was like 2,000,001 or something, right? It was significantly more, I think, when we started that discussion last year, so we brought it down.
Okay.
Any other comments or thoughts?
Todd, do you remember?
Yeah, I know we swapped out the ladder truck for
Oh,
the
the-
purchase of the new plow truck. Because it was cheaper, because otherwise we had to borrow both for this year.
And we pulled in the police vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for the reminder. So I guess First Citizens looks like the lowest rate.
Right.
I think that's straight, right?
And traditionally, they've worked well with us.
Both banks have.
Term
Mhm.
we're looking
Both
to do.
banks have. I will say that, you know, to the fact that we do have quite a bit of banking at First Citizens State Bank, they're very, show us a lot of grace. They don't charge us any, like if a check has to be canceled or a check bounces, they don't charge us fees for things like that. But we don't have that experience with Citizens Bank. I can't imagine they wouldn't do the same, so we borrowed from both banks.
So this is net new borrowing, Gene?
Yep. So you're not looking for a decision on which term to take, or are
I
you?
would like the term we can determine, but I'd like to know which bank so we can get the final documents, and then when we schedule another meeting, then that can get approved so they can move forward.
And we would deal with the
And
term at
Attorney
that
Mills
time.
needs to do a borrowing resolution as well.
Well, First Citizens has the best rate, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's pretty straightforward.
Any
So that's what I
reason,
would-
any reason why First Citizens is not desirable by you, Gene? Any? No. Okay,
I said we go with First Citizens.
Oh, got a motion?
I would say your motion include the dollar amount that is
And the
being
rate.
borrowed and the
Oh,
rate.
But the rate depends on how many years.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it okay with just the dollar amount?
No, I want to tie the bank to the
Right, and
quoted
then-
rates.
Oh.
You want me to do it? I can.
Well, I guess, yeah, we could, I would make a motion to proceed with First Citizens State Bank for our 2026 borrowing of $1,563,036 at a rate not to exceed 5.5%.
I'll second.
Yeah, that'll work.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And a motion to authorize Attorney Mills to draft a borrowing resolution and getting the numbers.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Attorney Mills to draft a borrowing resolution for this new loan.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So we'll go into public comments.
Just quick reminder for anyone that lives on Beulah Heights Road, directly impacted by the road, we'll give you an opportunity to speak after the presentation by DPW and Lynch.
Which is in 9B. So it should be right after public comments. Please be advised that per state statute 19.84 sub 2, information may be received from the public. Comments are limited to 4 minutes period per person. Be further advised that there will be no discussion on the information received and no action will be taken regarding public comments. Upon conclusion of the citizen participation segment, members of the audience are not allowed further comment unless they are participating in a public hearing or if specifically allowed by a majority vote of the town board due to involvement in a specific agenda item. And with that, who do I have first?
My name is Ann Zuss. I'm at N8305 Weber Road, and I'm here tonight to speak about agenda item, is it 11F, which is a proposal by Supervisor Smith to rescind the vote of the Ellers proposal. To me, you heard tonight, we're taking on another $1 million in debt. This is structural debt for the most part. This community, per Chairman Jones, I think his presentation back in the fall for the budget talked about us approaching $10 million in debt. It's incredibly irresponsible to even think about getting rid of a professional CPA firm that has helped many other communities to help the town of East Troy to eventually, hopefully, get out of this issue. We're paying bank rates for debt, and we need to consolidate at some point, and I know you talked about that. That's impossible with our audits the way they are. We need help with the CPA firm that's proven to look at these things. So I think rescinding that vote of the past board is incredibly irresponsible.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, go ahead.
Olivia Anderson, W1314 Beach Road. First, I'd like to thank the board for putting the East Shore Culvert on the agenda. I've had the opportunity to speak with many of my neighbors regarding the culvert on East Shore Road, its history, and ultimately how much it has and continues to sink. The current state of the culvert has brought about both accessibility and safety concerns. My husband and I have to lay almost completely flat on our fishing boat to be able to get through the culvert. And fortunately, we're in a physical state where we can do so, but many of our neighbors can't, and that is deemed that point in the lake inaccessible to them. Another issue is safety. So when you enter the culvert from the lake side, it is much higher than when you enter the culvert from the channel side. So this presents a big safety concern. If someone were to start entering the culvert, there's a potential for them getting stuck underneath the road in the culvert. And the last point that I wanted to make was the state of the road and the head walls, most notably the depression in the road above the culvert, indicating a potential base failure that is resulting in safety concerns for both motorists and those using the culvert. Again, I appreciate the town board putting this on the agenda and look forward to working towards a solution.
Thank you. Anyone? Absolutely. John.
John Russell, N9150 Humphrey Lane. I'm a commissioner on the Lake Beulah Management District, and I wanted everybody to be aware, both the town and the residents, that we are considering implementing a formal Clean Boat, Clean Water program in 2027. And for those of you that don't know, Clean Boat, Clean Water program is sponsored by the Wisconsin DNR to mitigate the effects of invasive species. So to that end, we're doing a trial program this summer so that we can learn all the nuances of implementing a successful program next year. So we have a number of volunteers that have been trained to be inspectors, and we're going to start our trial program this weekend. We're going to be at the launch Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, and Sunday morning. And we wanted the town to be aware that we're doing this and look for their support, and especially Chief Gorecki to be aware that we're going to have some people down there. Maybe he can notify the officers and the CSOs. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
My name's Ernest Mustaine. My address is West 1324 Beach Road in East Troy. And I wanted to touch a little bit on the new business for the culvert on East Shore Road. We've lived in East Troy for 38 years plus. And over that time, we've seen a significant sinking of the bridge on the channel side. We had a 1986 90-horse Mercury, which was the big 6-cylinder that we used to fit underneath that bridge. After 13 years of owning that boat, we had to get rid of it because we could no longer fit it underneath that bridge, no matter what position we put it in. So it wasn't the water level, it was the bridge itself was sinking to the point we couldn't get the boat under there anymore, or the motor under there. Later we had a bass boat. We had that for over 20 years, but by 2022, we could not get that under the bridge any longer. It's just continuously sinking, and I'm sure if you did some kind of a shot grade on each side, you'd see one side is more than 6 inches shorter than the other side. And I believe most of that has happened in the last, 38 years we've been there. So I just want to support some kind of action taken to replace or whatever we need to do to correct that. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
Okay. My name is Maria Elena Vizabarros, and I'm here to, well, some of you may know me, but I'm running for Assembly District 33 in
Address, please.
W1184 County Road L. So my husband and I own a meat processing company in this town, and I've been here for the last 20 years, and in this country for 40. Of course, I have an accent because my first language is Spanish. My second, yo hablo español, je parle français, French, and my third is English. When I came here when I was 24. I want to say a couple of things about myself and then why I'm running. I was born in the northern part of Spain from a very poor family. My father was made tires in Michelin. Everybody knows Michelin, right? Yeah. So he made tires for 50 years. My mother was a housewife. I have 3 brothers. I'm in the middle of the family. And basically, I received a big scholarship to go to college, otherwise I will have never had the opportunity. But then when I finished, I came to the States in 1986, and I landed in New York City. And I was, again, so lucky that I went to the Spanish and Portuguese department at New York University, and they offered me a scholarship again to do a master's degree and a PhD, because I had a degree from a very good university in Spain. Well, to make it short, I finished a PhD, and then I found my husband in New York. He's from Chicago. His family is from Wisconsin, up north. His mom's family were dairy farmers, and we purchased a meat processing company with a farmer, with Yappy Hill Poultry, and then we bought her out with time. And we work with around 40 different farmers processing animals for small farmers. When we didn't pass, and now I'll go, I became an American citizen in 1997, for everybody to know that I'm legal in this country. And basically, when the referendum didn't pass, I kind of was, I was upset about it, and I said, okay, we cannot allow our communities to basically dissolve because the pharmacy went away, the hardware store has gone away. We need money in the local communities. So if I'm elected, definitely I'm going to go to Madison to ask for money to bring and basically balance the budget in the school districts, all of them, because I've gone and I visited all the superintendents. From East Troy, we lost $3 million last year. Burlington lost $7 million last year, and so on and forth. The fire department, I just came from there. I mean, all our local services, I mean, they need money, but we are giving, the state gave $1.5 billion to the big tech companies in sales tax credit to build data centers that we really don't need. Or if we need them, at least the residents have to be able to vote on them. You tell me how much I have.
You got 13 seconds.
13 seconds. So that's basically what I'm trying. If we really get that money, we stop the money that we are giving to all this wealth, to basically is welfare to the rich. We can balance our school districts. We can give money to the fire department. We can give money to infrastructure. And of course, I have more issues,
right.
but I'm leaving my brochure if you want it outside. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can anybody else? Go right ahead.
Rob Peterson, 9207 Deer Path Road. I just wanted to touch on the culvert on East Shore as well. Been there for a few years, and we see a ton of development going on around the lake. Obviously, getting underneath the channel is no fun. Notable in our boat, we actually, this year when we took it out, literally have to sink it into the water to get under where we used to be able to float underneath just a couple of years ago. So that's notable, but there's so much construction traffic and everything going on around the lake right now, especially on this end. And there has been a lot of construction vehicles we see on a regular basis. My pickup truck, if I put a trailer behind it, skid steer on it, I am over the weight limit. And, you know, like a landscaping guy with a trailer behind him is over the weight limit, and they're not turning around and diverting, going around the culvert, around the neighborhood to find another way in. So definitely see a lot of traffic that exceeds the weight limit, and the bridge just isn't safe and is kind of going down there. So just wanted to mention on that, bring attention to it. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Someone in the corner.
Any, go right ahead. Go ahead.
Oops, sorry. I'm Steve Claver, 1297 Beach Road. I'm also here for the culvert. Everybody knows it's on its way out. It's in really bad repair. If anybody understands a culvert, they're usually precast and they go under your driveway. I'm sure most people have seen them. This culvert has 6 pieces that are bolted together to form the circle. And the bolts come through with huge nuts about this size. They're coming off. They're falling off. I didn't take account of how many nuts are missing. Quite a few are vibrating off. They're galvanized. They're about an inch in diameter probably, and there's probably 40 per piece. I can't see underneath, of course, but I do go through the culvert. I took the liberty of taking a bunch of photographs while I was in the culvert. Just to explain some of it, I'm trying to beat the clock. But I brought a ton of pictures for you guys to look at. I'll print the bench here. And then you'll see that there's some weird stuff. Like on the yacht club side, electrical lines, you'll see it, about this fat, come out of the ground, out of nowhere, cross the culvert, and then disappear at the dockside. How many volts are those? And they're only 45 inches away from the water. And go to the other side, I've got another picture. It's got a natural gas line going under the culvert. I go, what's up with that? It's probably 60 years old. Why is the gas going under the culvert? Kind of weird. Or maybe from the olden days, who knows? And then, of course, the railings are all rusted and broken off. So something's going to happen there eventually. I took pictures of the rust and the missing. Everything is here, except my cat, maybe I took. I might have a picture of my cat in here. But anyway, I got everything here. Oops, I got everything here for you guys to review, if I can approach the bench.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
These are all my photographs. I don't think my cat was in there.
Did you want these
But
back?
yeah, see, this is like the electrical lines. You'll understand all that. And I got all the different pictures, and the handsome guy in there is me inside the tunnel.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Why don't you put your address in there, and I'll make sure that you take
All right.
the back.
KLC-DER.
Sir, oh, yeah, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. All right.
I can tell a joke. I got jokes.
Yes, sir. Sure.
No.
Oh, she doesn't want them.
All right, Joe Schluge, W1282 Beach Road. I'd like to thank Barb for getting us up here to be able to talk about the bridge once again, and thank her for the work that she did with the previous administration. They did approach some ARPA funds at the time, but going back on the history of this bridge was supposed to be in the entire channel was dug about the same time, and when Goat Island was done, it was supposed to mirror Goat Island. But the dredge sunk in Goat Island. You can see it in somebody's front yard if you go through there. So because it was never finished, the flow was never going to be quite as good. However, up until the early 70s, that bridge used to be 10 feet wide and about 7 feet tall, and there was about a 3 feet bump you went over to go over the water. You could fit 2 full-size boats through there side by side. Around 2010, probably because the flow's been choked off now to about 1/10 of what it was when it was built, the swamp across the street died and the stink started. I know Lloyd and Clara Berger have also approached the board and some of the previous board members on some of these issues in the past. And unfortunately, I believe because of ARPA, there was bridge grants available, but I believe they used the span and the size of the current bridge, which is probably about 1/10. I shouldn't say 1/10. We'll say probably around 1/5 of the original bridge. The culvert that's in there now is probably sunk over 2 feet. Now, 2 feet down doesn't seem like a big deal. Okay, so your boat's lower, but it's round. So that 2 feet down drops you 4 feet in width. And I'll say since 1989-90, when I first started coming through it, we've lost every bit of 3 feet in width and 1.5 feet. I also agree I've never heard of a single ticket issued in all these years for anything overweight going over that bridge, which is 6 tons. There's constantly remodeling, the bars are pretty good. They'll get their delivery people to come down Beach Road. But all the other construction, I'm on Beach Road. I've been on Beach Road forever. Never seen a single truck turn around for any of those construction projects. See them go down there full, come back empty almost daily. I'd like to thank Steve and Kim for helping clean out the channel for all these years, Ernie as well, Clara Berger and the Channel Association. And I could talk about this thing for days. There was a guy named Pat Prawl I want to try and contact who did have some detailed measurements of how it sunk just between about 1990 and 2002. Like Steve, I've been through about 10 different boats since then. I'm down to a rowboat with a motor. Ernie's been through countless boats. You can't get anything through there but a rowboat with a motor, and you're laying on the floor. There have been other safety issues on the street as well on East Shore. Recently, within the past few years, the speed limit's been dropped down to 15 miles an hour to protect the yacht club, to protect the bars, to protect the residents. Back in '92, a large development was proposed where they proposed dead-ending Beach Road. I can't say that bridge proposals and other things aside, just getting rid of the bridge isn't a bad idea. Give the yacht club the road footage, give the bars and the other people the road footage, take some of the traffic off East Shore Drive, just make the bridge go away, allow the yacht club to be able to use their launch to have sailboats. I mean, I could talk about this thing till I'm blue in the face. The distance from the water to the road is about the same as that of Stringer's Bridge. You can get a pontoon boat through there at Stringer's Bridge, and over on Beach Road, like I said, you're going to be laying on the floor in a rowboat trying not to lose your head. Let's see, what am I missing?
You got 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Well, we'll call it done. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you to the board, and I also want to take today to thank our... Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole Hudson, W1721 South Shore Drive. Thank you to the board, and I want to take time today to thank our law enforcement officers who dedicate their time and energy to our community. I greatly appreciate the increased presence on the water this year and recognize that for law enforcement on the water and on Lake Beulah, it requires long hours, specialized training, and a great deal of patience. So thank you to everybody who's out there. I do look forward to understanding our return on investment from the Lake Beulah Management District contribution from the agreement last year. So any information that the town board can share with us with the residents about how those expanded hours have translated into enforcement activity and trends and citations would be helpful to see transparency and as well hopefully support improved rule following across the lake. In addition to some of the unsafe and illegal activities that I've witnessed and previously brought to public comments here, recently I've personally observed and had others tell me about their observations of repeated infractions occurring after slow no wake hours multiple days of the week, but especially on weekends where we have a slow no wake starting at 6 p.m. So I would appreciate a better understanding of enforcement during these hours, and if those hours are not part of our schedule or however the schedule is designed, respectfully request a more frequent police presence be considered, assuming it doesn't adversely impact the overall safety of our community. I also, moving on to my next topic, have a question regarding roadside parking rules on town roads. So I just don't know who to go to this question with. Over the past few weeks, it was a holiday, it's been beautiful weather, but over the past few weeks, there's been a large number of cars parked around a very sharp curve on South Shore Drive that's been creating a blind corner, causing a big safety concern both for drivers and pedestrians. As you're trying to come around that curve, you can't see if any cars are coming. It's a very narrow street, so it's at risk for head-on collision, also any collision with pedestrians, bike riders, anything like that. So I don't know if there's guidance on parking in locations such as this, or if there's somewhere somebody could point me to, just to get some clarification on kind of what's allowed and what the recommendation is for parking in those areas. Then, once again, on a separate topic, Chairman Jones, I've been looking for the budget PowerPoint that you frequently reference in our town meetings, and I have not been able to locate that anywhere in any past packets or online. So I'm happy to submit a public records request for it, but if there's anyone who can aid me in locating that, or if it's already posted for the public, that would be great to know exactly where it is. So if I do need to submit public records, I just want to thank staff in advance for your support in pulling that together. And similarly, I'm looking forward to tonight's discussion on ELARs. I've previously shared my own concerns about the process and the lack of a price cap from what I've seen and what documents have been made publicly available. So I think it would be helpful for residents to have clarity on the RFQ process, request for quote, in addition to the other budget documents that are referenced in these meetings. So again, if that's also available, I welcome any guidance on where I can access that. And then finally, I understand based on, I made comments last meeting, but there will be discussion tonight on the use of spotters when towing. And I just want to express my concern about the safety implications that this introduces for everyone on the lake. So I look forward to hearing that discussion tonight, and as well as future conversations on how we can ensure safe recreation for all lake users. So thank you for listening. Thank you for any guidance that is sent my way, and I look forward to your comments and discussion tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else?
John Becker, W1958, Pastime Lane. I had a half-hour speech prepared on the culvert, but I won't give that tonight anyway, and it gets covered. Anyway, there's a number of us in the town that are very familiar with the recreational boat traffic on the lake. I've been here 40 years. I've seen it. Other people have seen it. It certainly forms into a pattern. And I think it's a very important thing to recognize that if we study this pattern, we all know it, we can cut back on our expenses and yet increase our safety. And what I'm referring to is that the big traffic, the dangerous traffic on the lake usually occurs between 6 and 7 on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday being the worst. What happens is that many people are directing their boats to the launch, and they're late. And they have a problem, or there's a queue at the launch, so they take their time getting there, but yet they then start to speed. So the speed picks up, and there's a lot of violators at that point in time. This coincides with the recreational people that are using kayaks, swimmers, paddle boards, and the like. All occurs at the same time. So it's a dangerous situation. And I think what's happening now, the present police force there is not alert to this. We've mentioned it before, but the results are not there. In fact, I went over to the launch during those hours. Actually, it was between 5 and 7. And every day I went there on a Saturday or Sunday, the police boat was parked. In other words, stored. wasn't in service. That is the critical time, and it wasn't being used. Now, I don't think they're familiar with the situation like maybe I am or other people are, but I would suggest that we take advantage of my knowledge, other people's knowledge, of exactly how the recreational boating works, and therefore we can optimize it. I think cut back on the hours, because Thursday at 10 o'clock, there's nothing happening on the lake. You don't need a police boat out there. But at 6:15 on a Saturday, you need a police boat there. And it's very simple, where they can be, they can hang out. They can hang out in front of Camp Charles Ellis, and you get a lot of violators. Not only that, if you hang out, the police hang out there, they'll be intimidating people coming down the lake at a high speed. That speed will be reduced. So my plea is to take advantage of the talent we have, and all volunteers. I think we can help out and do a better job. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. So we will move on. Thanks for everybody's comments. We'll move on to department reports and committees. Since we're pulled a few out, I'm going to keep it in order, so we'll go through the minutes. Do we need to have a motion on that, or you've already given the edits, right? So do we need a motion to?
I haven't seen the edits.
No, we just pulled out the town meeting minutes, so I don't think we need to have any discussion on that, but we pulled out the police report.
No, I have others. I'm just saying, with the minutes, do we have to approve them? Or are we just pulling them out because you gave her edits?
Yes, we're pulling them out till next time, right?
So do we need a motion to?
We'll do the edits and we'll represent them at the next meeting.
Oh, okay, so we don't need
You
a
can
motion.
send her the minutes, or your edits.
I already
That's
did.
the critical
Okay.
piece. It was different this year because we had this meeting, because we had someone else doing the minutes
Yep.
for us.
Right.
So typically they'll be out to you guys so that they
Earlier.
can be a more timely.
No, she
response.
incorporated mine, so I just was doing this to honor your request.
So we'll incorporate the edits that we received late and we'll bring them
To the next meeting.
Okay. So then, number 2 is the social media. Special report.
Heather and I just wanted to thank all of our sponsors, vendors, and volunteers for helping to make the farmers market a hit. We couldn't be happier with the turnout and look forward to the possibility of this becoming an annual tradition. We're very grateful for our team and all the teamwork we had on this project. After hearing great interest of those attending at the event on social media, we would request that the town board have discussion and possible action on the approval of a fall festival to possibly be held on Saturday, September 18th or 25th. We were originally thinking October, but after hearing about the Halloween trains schedule, it would probably be conflicting. So we would ask for further ambiguity to plan and carry out the event. We would charge the vendors $20 per 10 by 10 space, so it would be self-funded and require zero money from the town board.
Discussion, right?
That-
Yep.
Is that it?
So thank you for the work that you did. I would agree. It was a successful event. I was pleasantly surprised at the activity for the first time ever happening. I'm super supportive of your ambition to take on another event this year already. I think we were originally thinking maybe next year, depending on the 4th holiday. And so I am absolutely supportive.
Thank you.
I would
That's
chime in.
comments.
I also attended the July 5th, and it was very positive. And I thought the community appreciated that. It brought the community together, and I think this would be worth looking into. I'd be supportive of it. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was there as well. Spent a couple hours, actually. I didn't expect to. And I had to go back to the food truck a couple times. It was pretty tasty. But I thought it was a great event. It really turned out good. I liked the participation by the fire district, Sawyer's excavation equipment, the camper company. I mean, we had a lot of businesses there as well. And the only thing I heard was, well, I'll stay away from the beer tent, but I also heard that we heard a lot about the beer tent. But I also heard that more publicity would be helpful. So we probably got to do more signs and things if we're going to do that. But no, I'm supportive. I think it's great to use the park in that way.
And we did have discussion about being able to have the Hive participate because they're in an enclosed trailer and already have a liquor license, so that we can work around that.
Did you get much feedback from the vendors that were there?
Heather put out a gorgeous Google survey to all of them, and all of the responses have been very positive, and they're willing to pay the fee.
Okay.
Miren was one of the vendors. I was there. I was kind of surprised by the attendance. And I was in a corner, in a way on the side, and I mean, it was very, very pleasant day. I know I
Okay.
can't talk.
We got no public comments now. I appreciate it, but any comments from the two of you?
What are the costs to an event like this that you're covering through the fees?
The band, and then whatever porta potty cost there is for that, and then the sink attached was $360 now. I'm not sure if that cost will go up next year, but for this next event, it would be $360. So I believe that the cost of each 10 by 10 would cover all of that.
And the cost for this event we just had
Was all sponsored.
was all sponsored.
It was 100% covered.
I applaud the effort that Heather Larson and Jen Olson put forth to turn the park into a place of joy and unity for the community, especially on a day when there weren't many people who had places to go. So thank you for doing that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to authorize Jen Olson and Heather Larson to start planning for a fall event at the Jim Burns Memorial Park on September 18th or 25th.
I'll
Second.
Okay. And do we want to modify it to at no cost or at break even or whatever? Is that what you're proposing, right?
That's my proposal, yes.
Yeah, yeah, at no cost. So, to the town, yeah.
To the town, correct. And you second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. We have DPW Superintendent Shield. You have the floor.
And the door. As you know, we started our lovely Beulah Heights Road project, and we have ran into numerous different problems. So hence came a change order to the original amount that was awarded to RLP Diversified. We've had a couple of board members came out and take a look and explain to them why this is coming about. The unforeseen water infiltration, unforeseen old bridge that we came across underneath. I mean, it's and it's a tight area to work in, so you're pretty restricted. We never knew how much water was actually coming in from the channel side. The day that they blocked that off, the channel side rose by 8 inches alone overnight. So we weren't sure if the water from the lake was feeding that or the channel was feeding the lake, and now we know. So a lot of extra pumping has become, I mean, there's been pumps running solid since we put the road in, and we're on a month and a half on that. I have Dan Meyer from Lynch here. They were the engineers for this, because the change order is a big one. We got to go to extra sheeting because once they opened up and got the culvert itself out, started digging, water started coming on both hillsides underneath the road. And you can't have that starting to wash in. You'll start losing structures. I mean, you don't know how far it's coming from uphill. You can end up with somebody's basement wall collapse and a hole in somebody's yard. I mean, it's just, and it's unsafe to work. And then the sidewalls just kept collapsing. The supporting sand and structures underneath, it didn't warrant a safe working condition in that such small area. So we had to go in and get extra sheeting now that they just started installing this week.
So you want Dan to.
Yep, I mean, we're gonna open up for questions. Dan's here, myself, we'll try and get through as much as we can.
I'd like to get a bit of an engineering report from Dan at Lynch here, and then, give residents that live on the road a chance to ask questions or make comments before we go any further. That's all right, Todd?
Mm-hmm.
So as Todd had mentioned, when we started putting the erosion control and basically blocking off the channel at the causeway, we discovered that there was additional flows that was unplanned coming into the work area, and which caused the channel to rise. And the contractor worked through adding several pumps, and finally recently added that 6-inch pump that seems to be keeping the water at bay, which has slowed some of the progress down on the project in order to get that in place and implemented. Then when he started to dewater the excavation, he started to notice some bank instability where he had some sloughing the banks into the work area. And also he noticed that there was water coming in through the basically excavation hillsides, and it was bringing sandy materials with it too, which would mean that it's taking materials from outside of the work area, possibly underneath the road or different areas of there, into the excavation. He decided to stop the dewatering process and call us out there to talk about what our options are. We went through with him different options of, either cutting things back, which wouldn't have solved the water issues. We looked at the tight sheeting. The number was high, so we asked him to look at an alternative. He came back, he ran the numbers on the alternative. It was nearly, I think, 3/4 the price of bringing in the tight sheeting. So at that time, we looked at it, and the tight sheeting, which is the proposal we talked about on the table now, is what we're at. It basically drives long sheets of iron into the ground. I don't know if anyone's been out there, but that will also keep the stability of the banks on each side, keep the work area safe, and it'll keep any materials from basically running from underneath the hills and causing any sinkholes in there. So that's kind of the direction that we decided to go with. We did review the geotech report. They discussed about the possibilities of this being an option, that there could be instabilities there. We planned for what we had thought was a normal amount of risk with this, but unfortunately, when they do soil borings, they can only bore in certain locations. It's not a full discovery of all the soils. Like, they did not discover the existing bridge that was underneath there. I mean, that's something that you'd think was huge, but they're only drilling like a small core this big, and they only see what they see in that core. And unfortunately, the soils were worse than what they had anticipated. So.
Any residents here that want to ask some questions?
I don't live on the road, so can I ask 2 questions? Okay. So I know you said that you had accounted for a normal amount of risk with this, but was any of this preventable, or was this all, just bad luck for all of us?
Very unforeseen.
Okay.
Very unforeseen. Not knowing that there was a 1-lane bridge over the existing culvert with concrete and steel pilings and concrete walls on that had to be removed. Yeah, I mean, how they got the culvert that we pulled out under that bridge, because it was a pieced together culvert also. But the water infiltration, there's no way to really see that until you start getting into the project.
Okay. And for the pumps, I was trying to find the notes. But for the pumps, are those just short term until like the sheeting is in and the project is either closer to completion or completed, or are the pumps? So I think I saw that there was an hourly cost to run the pumps.
Yeah.
Are the pumps required long term or just?
They'll probably require until the road is put back in place.
But it's not like once the project is complete,
Yep.
this won't be a continued
Nope.
expense for the town.
But it was an unforeseen expense because we didn't know how much water was actually coming.
Right. I just wanted to know if it was going to be a budget issue.
Yeah. I mean, the Village of East Troy was actually generous and let us use one for about a month at no cost. So.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Anyone on Beulah Heights have any questions, concerns that they want to bring to the engineer's attention or DPW's attention?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jen and myself and Chairman Jones, Ben, I mean, we're out there every week. I'm there once, if not twice a day, making sure how things are going and see if they're running into any problems. Every Thursday afternoon, we have a meeting out there. So it's just, I guess you call it bad luck, but it's stuff you don't know until you get into a project.
Is there any estimate of completion time?
He's still hoping to have the road done, or the culvert in by the end of August, but it depends upon, once he gets, he should in the next 2 days finish getting the sheeting in. And that's.
August, or is it end of August, think, or?
He's hoping to have the culvert in by the end of July.
Is your water issue, there was no way to do a flow test to see what was coming and going?
When we actually looked at it, the water was going in instead of coming out, before we even started digging the hole. Because the green algae and everything was actually getting in. Could have been wind. I don't know if DNR could have done something for checking which way, how much. That's way out of my scope. I don't know if Dan would have had anything on that you guys would have been able to do, or would that have been up to the state?
Up to the state, or a specialty contract, you need to bring up a specialty, a firm to look at which the flows are and do a whole study of it there.
Because I hate to bring this up, because everybody's talking about the East Shore culvert, probably gonna have the same issue, because there is a flow that comes out of there.
Yeah, I probably see it. One thing that happens too is the lake is spring fed and dammed, and those bog areas, Rhode Island isn't really boggy anymore. But I bet if we're in extreme drought, it's coming in. And then, once we get a bunch of rain like this, it's coming out, so it's really gonna be unpredictable.
We'll talk about that when we get it to, I got all kinds on that too, but.
What time are the meetings on Thursday? Are they open to the?
2:30 in the afternoon on Thursday. If you wanna come and see what's going on.
Well, I'm just wondering if the residents in that area, if they're just open to.
Yeah, and we've been in contact with everybody right there, and they've been great to work with. I mean, the few complaints that we've had, because people can't get their boats out, I mean, I'm sorry, I mean, that's, like I said, it was an unforeseen that we knew of.
And we're working with the contractor on a daily basis to see what we can do to try to move this project along. If he sees anything that we can help him out, move forward with, we're trying to help him move forward as fast as he can, so. And trying to look forward to any things that he might see coming in the future that might be an upcoming unknown, or any obstacles permitting wise we can get out of his way so that he can do the work faster.
I know we just extended to the end of July, and when I spoke to some of the residents, and they had been hearing from the contractor that the contractor had another job, and that's why they were pushing to get it done on June 30th. Are we being impacted by their next job?
We have not. They've had a crew ready to work there at all times. I mean, the holdup in the last couple of weeks was the unforeseen sand running in and water running in, and getting the sheeting to stop all that.
That was the hope that I think the residents had, was to get it done before that next job.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's all unforeseen that we didn't know until once we got in there, and then it's not stable ground.
Any other thoughts or comments? Questions?
Are we gonna have to do dredging on either side of that culvert once it's put in? No?
And it'll all be dug out.
Okay.
Between the sheeting on the north and south side, that most of that's all gonna be new stone, and
It was effectively part of the project to
Yep.
get the culvert in and have that cleaned up. We're not dredging the channel or anything.
no. Cause I think, is it 6 or 7 feet they gotta go down underneath to put base in?
They go down pretty deep. The
Yeah.
culvert extends pretty far below the normal water surface, and the DNR's asked us to put back some sort of material to.
In the culvert
In the
itself.
culvert itself, to maintain somewhat of a.
Natural flow and natural bottom.
So we have a change order in front of us for about $150,000, bulk of which is to drive the steel pilings.
And pump.
My concern is what changed. So in the geotech report with the borings, page 9 reads, on the basis of observations, major difficulty with water from Lake Beulah and/or groundwater and with excavation and subgrade stability is likely to be experienced. It goes on and on. There's about 5 pages worth of warnings around ground stability. So I question if the need for pumping is an unforeseen change or not. I looked at each of the boring reports, the different depths. Each call for gray, fine to medium sand. Each of them experienced a cave-in at 15 feet, at 14 feet, at 11 feet, at 10.5 feet. I'm just a layman, but I read through these documents, the boring details and the report, and there's pages and pages detailing piling instructions, calling for a specialty contractor that can conduct sheet piling work, and I just question what changed. So I would like to table any decision on the change order until we receive a written engineering justification for the change in site conditions from Lynch. So that's my motion.
And can we just clarify, right, that's like a detailed breakdown of the change order?
Right.
Because,
So the change order is simply $150,000 some odd dollars for sheet piling. And then we were given a time and material breakdown from the contractor, but we don't have anything in writing from Lynch, who we've contracted to design and manage this project. And I'd like to understand what we're getting ourselves into, because I'm really concerned about the cost. It exceeds 40% of the original contract. These conditions don't strike me as too out of the ordinary for bridge work. Sheet piling's pretty regular, especially in an environment like that. A couple individuals mentioned East Shore and how that culvert's sinking. These are unstable soils. I went back and looked at the WISDOT report dated April 29th of 2025 that also called for concern around the soil stability behind the retaining walls. So I think that was pretty well known. I'd like to have the engineering justification and a detailed explanation around how the site conditions have changed.
I'll second the motion.
Any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Hopefully you can help us with that.
Yeah, I can write you out a report pretty quickly, so.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Anything else?
Todd, are you still up here for DPW concerns, or is that it?
I'm good. That's part of it until we get to the East Shore end, and I can help fill in a little bit with that.
I would just like to publicly thank the residents of the Beulah Heights area for their patience and understanding. Thank you.
All right, police report.
Thrown it in there.
I did not have time to get this into the packet. Gene rather does have a copy of this to add in additional documents if anybody wants to see it, but I did provide it to the board.
That will go in additional documents at the end. So it'll be on the website in additional documents in the back.
Just going to give a brief report on the boat patrol. We're about mid-year. As of right now, the patrol hours actually on the water, we're at 241 and a half hours. And last year, for the entire year, we had 225 hours. So we're already a little less than 20 hours over what we were for the entire year last year. Citations issued for the year, we're at 19. Last year, for the entire year, we had 23. Warnings issued were about half of what we were last year, which is where we would expect, at 15 written warnings this year. And then just vessel safety inspections. We do an inspection after every stop, just making sure that they have life jackets and fire extinguishers and battery post covered, things like that. We've had 20 of those, and then persons assisted is one. I think it was a kayak or a sailboat that tipped over and they needed help, just stability to flip it back over. I understand the staffing issues as far as evenings. I see the all the reports that come through email from PRB and everything else. We're working on that. I had court last week, and one of the officers that I used to work with approached me and talked about working similar to what Officer Smith is doing, possibly a few days a week to help with those staffing issues. One other issue we had is we are down an officer. So some of our part-time officers are working the road to help cover shifts, so that limits their availability. And then we had one boat officer had surgery, ended up taking him out for the entire summer. So, not anything that we could do to control that, but some other things that I'm seeing through talking to citizens and everything else is just getting education out there. We've seen a big increase in people not wearing life jackets on PWCs and things like that. We always have the slow and awake holidays and weekends, things like that. And then boater safety had a few violations for people not having boater safety certificates. I did hear one individual say something about not really having issues on Thursdays and Fridays. It is a lot less issues, but we did just issue, I think, 4 citations to an individual on Thursday for some questionable boating behaviors. So there is some stuff out there during the week too, and we understand that. And then also in going through ordinances and all that stuff, I've noticed some ordinances that just aren't up to date with the state laws or conflicting ordinances. So I am working on going through those. Unfortunately, I'll have to give a list of them to Attorney Mills to review, and that way we can get everything in line where it should be. So working on the staffing issues, like I said, hopefully tomorrow I'll have some more answers on that in meeting with him and try and work through this.
You had indicated to me, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just thought for discussion, for the 4th of July weekend, you had like 2 shifts being covered, did you not?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we had, and they were out there till about almost midnight on Friday for the fireworks and stuff. Traditionally, it gets clogged up out there through the channel and stuff coming back after the fireworks are over and stuff. So always make sure that somebody's out there to try and monitor that, and if there's any issues. You know, we've had accidents in the channel just because you have so many people clogging up the channel and stuff in the past. So I do have some additional afternoon shifts coming in the coming weeks. So working on it, and unfortunately with part-time officers, they all have full-time jobs, and unfortunately their full-time jobs take precedent on some of the things, but we're trying.
Any thoughts on the slow no wake times that somebody brought up? Any thoughts on that?
Yep, no, I am seeing the emails that come in. I have seen some of those that there's issues on Saturdays and some Sunday afternoons. I read all the emails. Quite a few of them are just letting us know of patterns of people not in the wake and hand zone or something like that. And then some of the complaints are, unfounded complaints where they just misunderstood the ordinance and what times you can have slow no wake during the week and things like that. So I do read all of those, even if you don't get a phone call back. It might be a day or so later that I see that there was a slow no wake violation. There's not a whole lot I can do a day later on that because they're gone already. But
thanks for this. We appreciate the data.
We will be addressing some of the discrepancies in the ordinance coming up.
Yep, I've been working with you on some of that stuff, and we've been kind of talking on that along with Chairman Jones. So we're working on it.
Clarify that. Yeah, and I realize scheduling is, you do what you can with that, and I think everybody wants patrol when it's going to be most effective and efficient. When there's bulk traffic out there, that's some of the biggest risks for safety issues are. So, it's appreciated to, try and accommodate that as much as possible. I know, typically, and like you said, you can find any exceptions. If nobody's out there, someone takes liberties and, they look around and there's no one there. But the, hot weekdays, people get off work and they go out. And it's a lot of people all of a sudden 4 to 6 o'clock, So those are busy times. And obviously at weekends, it's busy as well.
Yeah.
So, but we do appreciate the extra patrol, and, we're obviously doing what we can and fine tuning right as we go.
Yeah,
along.
absolutely. And the officer that I'm talking to tomorrow, you know, he worked the road for, I think, 25 years at the department that I was previously at, but he also worked Lauderdale Lakes Boat Patrol. He worked Elvin Lake Boat Patrol, so very familiar with the boating laws and things too. And he seemed pretty interested, so hopefully that goes well. And then I was looking into enforcement on other lakes and stuff, and there is another municipality that has a boat patrol lake very similar size to ours. And in talking to them in the DNR, that they didn't even hit 80 hours to qualify for any of the DNR programs last year. So we're doing our best and trying to get out there. So
I think it's better this year. We got more hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate the dialogue. I think you appreciate the dialogue.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we just got to keep the discussion and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And tweaking.
Is there, for the QR code and some of the other reports you get in, is there a way to get like a summary of that at various times? Or is it, I mean, when you get them, do you categorize them or anything, or do you just?
I save the emails. I don't categorize them into anything specific.
Okay.
Because again, quite a few of them are unfounded, and I do try to follow up to educate on some of those items. The ones that are just advising of some, not really infractions, but not in the recommended zones, those don't get any follow-up just because it's technically not a violation of ordinance.
Yeah.
Yes.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for the detailed report. I'd like to show the audience that this is what Deputy Chief Runge produced, and I'd like you to let us know if this could be available to the public so that they could see it. I think it would be really beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she'll put it in the
We just
additional
said, yeah.
documents, so it'll be available on the website.
In the additional documents.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
It's going to be in the additional documents, right?
Yeah.
Additional document that'll be posted.
Today's meeting.
Under the 7/13 meeting.
Yep, today's
Yep.
meeting.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, and if you need a
Very
digital
nice.
copy, Gene, I can email that to you also. It's easier.
It's really good.
All right. Any other thoughts or comments or questions from the board? Thank you very much. Oh,
Not specific to Deputy Chief Runge, but I would just like to thank Chief Gurecki for his time. He's announced his retirement, and he'll be departing soon, so thank you. You've been a great boss.
I'm not clapping for him leaving.
all right. I think you're up with Planning Commission.
Planning Commission, all right. I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use amendment request as stated for N9619 County Road ES McGuanago, parcel number PA 4273000001.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So now we're moving on to 10. Section 10A. So there is an appointment sheet in here. It's the new appointments are the clerk, the treasurer, which we just went through oaths, and the deputy clerk. Wasn't that part of the oath, the deputy clerk too? Mm-hmm. So that was all taken care of. And then the last thing is to add a citizen member of the fire district. And that is going to be Richard Faust is my proposed appointment. So, any comments or? All right, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the nominations, the town board, for town board appointments as presented.
Second.
Any additional discussion?
Are we approving resolution number 2026-8?
That's what I thought this motion was for.
Right.
Is what it should be?
Yep.
I'm trying. I'm sorry, we
Reference
didn't
the
say that.
resolution.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
I'll amend the motion to approve resolution number 2026-8, approving town board appointments as presented.
And we have a second.
Second.
from Barr.
Second.
So, any additional thoughts? No? We're good? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item on the list was a carryover from last month, and I think it had Supervisor Church and Reyes, couple of citizen memos, and I'm not sure, was there additional, we were supposed to be contacting, I think, the inspector and talking.
Inspector and the chief.
Chief.
I did speak with Building Inspector Budiak, and I spoke with Police Chief Gurecki. Both seem to refer this issue to Mr. Mills.
Okay.
For further action.
Were they going to report back to us and copy in Attorney Mills, or were
I
was it
have
just
not
gonna go right to
received
Mills?
anything.
Did they express any concerns?
They said that there was nothing more that either of them could do, that it seemed to be a legal action that would require Mr. Mills to be involved.
So
I think we talked about it at the last meeting, like, before Attorney Mills would get involved, we would need an updated inspection report outlining the risks and concerns that need to be addressed.
I believe that was true.
I remember that, I believe it was John Stoss was down there with Vince Budiak, and they went through it, and there were locks put on doors and stuff, so.
Mr.
if
Budiak.
Vince- If Vince needs to redo that inspection, maybe that's, I think, what we're calling for, right?
Okay.
An inspection report before we can.
Right.
Correct.
Take
If there's
any kind of
additional.
What,
And if he needs an inspection,
did,
I can get that through the municipal court judge. Inspection warrant
okay.
to go in and do, if you're calling for a raise order, there has to be
No.
evaluations
I
done and
haven't
everything
done
else.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not what I was calling for.
So this would just,
But I thought that Vince and the chief had talked to you about it. Aware of,
I did receive an email that said that they would be supportive of a raise order. And I
Oh.
need more than just that.
I didn't get that kind of information, so. I was thinking that there would be an order of compliance,
Pardon?
but I didn't know.
I can reach out to Vince.
He didn't reach out to you today? I thought he was gonna talk.
No.
Okay.
so do
Looks
we
like-
need a motion here, or is this just?
Well, you're gonna have to,
I
I
would-
suppose it can go back on next month, but there's really no action
There's no
tonight.
status, yeah.
Well,
We-
I mean,
we-
I guess
we have
I'm
a
a,
request.
I'm a little disappointed where we're at here because I think my recollection was we were going to seek an update from Chief Gurecki in terms of safety and then the building inspector in terms of, compliance with building codes and things. Sounds like we really didn't get anything definitive. So in order to get something definitive, at this point, we can order an inspection report and authorize you to provide a warrant for one if necessary?
I would suggest I would do the legal justification for the raise order, because we've done them before, but it has to follow proper procedure, not just get an email saying I would support a raise order. So I can reach out to the building inspector and say, this is specifically what I am looking for from you.
I think it's pretty clear, an inspection report.
Yeah.
Identifying the risks and.
Formal report.
So do we need to authorize you to do that outreach? Or is this within?
I think that's something I can just do.
We already authorized Chief Gurecki and the building inspector to
Chief Gurecki has some
do
input.
that.
I can't talk unless you ask me. Sit right
Oh,
here.
can you? Can
Chief
you?
Gurecki, could you enlighten us as to your,
I'd love to.
thank you.
Talking with the building inspector, we both agree
that the building should be moved forward. We're referring to Mr. Mills to know what the next legal step is, because we know that building inspector and the chief of police can't rubber stamp it, because if that were the case, Sawyer's would have the building on the ground by now. So that's why we were referring to Mr. Mills. What do we need to do the next step? So we've already talked about it. We know what the deficiencies are. Now we want to move forward with it because I think that's what everybody wants, but I don't know the next step.
I would still need an updated inspection report.
And maybe Vince has that. I didn't talk to him about an inspection report. We just discussed the obvious safety issues that everybody can clearly see just by standing in the road. You don't even have to move.
That should be documented as well.
I believe Mr. Budiak told me that he hasn't been there for a year, that the last inspection he did of the entire building was a year ago. And I guess I need to know to tell Vince, or if you can talk to Vince, if that's good enough, or if
It's
that's-
not, because if I remember
Right.
correctly, the last inspection report said it was secure.
Right.
So
Then,
So if there's been a change, there's gonna have to be a big change to file a lawsuit where we end up having the building raised.
So we can request an updated inspection report.
Yeah,
And
I will reach out
and then
for that.
authorize Attorney Mills to review it.
Thanks, sorry.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, I thought that's what you were making right now.
Well, I'm looking for.
Make it a move.
Barb, you.
I'd like to authorize Attorney Mills to reach out to Building Inspector Budiak and Chief Gorecki to further detail the status of the Lindy's, the former Lindy's property.
I'd amend that to providing an updated inspection report.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
formal
you.
report.
Okay, and then I'll second.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we're into new business. We already tabled 11A, if I'm not.
I don't think we did.
Oh, we didn't?
No, we have to
Suggestion
make a motion right
That's
now.
right, the suggestion was to do it here, so Supervisor Church, did you want to?
I've been asked to table the discussion and possible action of hiring Ms. Larson to be a permanent employee at this time and to be reviewed at the budget workshop coming up.
Second.
Any additional discussion?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of we can't make that decision until we have a clear picture of this year's budget compared to our current expenditure, or year-to-date expenditures.
Yeah, we're tight.
We certainly value the work that Ms. Larson is contributing to the town hall. She's done a fantastic job. Obviously, she worked on the farmer's market for the 250th. She's very eager to help, and we're happy to have her. But we need to understand the budget before we can make any longer-term action.
Right, the budget was approved November by the electors, and so as a result of that budget, we can't just willy-nilly increase it. So we're really working hard to try and figure out how we can make this work. So more to follow after budget workshops. We didn't vote, did we?
No.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Abstained.
Oh, okay. Um, 11B, discussion and possible action to review, consider the repairs of the culvert on East Shore Road. Supervisor Church.
Yeah, I was contacted by a resident, Ms. Anderson, who lives on Beach Road, who presented me with signatures that were collected from residents along Beach Road and the subdivision behind Beach Road on Deer Path and the subsequent roads behind there. Their concern is twofold. It is access to the water that they feel that they no longer have with their watercraft. Additionally, there is safety concerns because they believe the culvert is sinking. I was unaware of the depression on East Shore. I do know that, as it was pointed out, that there is a lot of traffic that seems to be very heavy going over that delicate culvert. And they would like to know what can be done to prevent a Beulah Heights culvert situation from also occurring at the Beach Road East Shore culvert situation. So maybe Mr. Shield can also enlighten us on some stuff on the East Shore culvert.
I can a little bit. Not a lot. It actually came to our attention. Lynch Engineering, they do a lot of our grant writing. We actually have a grant in right now for culvert replacement road work, just waiting to see if we get it. This will be the third time we've applied for this. The other 2 times we've been shot down by the state.
Is that LSIP or different?
Different.
Different.
This is totally different. This has nothing to do with LSIP. This was even before that came out.
Okay.
Because even with, when we had our 6 to 20 foot structures, because this is not a bridge, it's a culvert, it still wasn't even bad enough to qualify for LSIP grant. So the new grant that came out, it needed to include replacing a structure. So this is why we went after this grant. It's like, I think it came out to like $1.5 million for road work and culvert replacement is what we wrote for.
Is that grant specifically for this culvert, or is
Yes, specifically for this.
And then
And adjacent road, and adjacent
And the
roadway.
roadway now is included in the replacement of that culvert, which makes this grant different than the previous 2 that were applied for.
Yep, the previous 2 were more just road work, not structure replacement.
And when do you learn if you receive the grant?
I haven't heard anything. They had to be in by, I think it was December 10th, and being a federal grant, or a state grant, it takes a while before they let that out to who gets what. But that's the last that I knew on that. I've heard, we have a culvert inspection report on it, like I do believe, if anybody wants a copy of it, I'll be more than happy to get a bunch to whoever needs it.
What is the specific program? It's not LRIP, right?
I'd have to look at the email. I don't remember it because it's so much else going on. I don't remember the
I know.
grant that we wrote it for, but I do believe it was total came out to like 1.5 million just to replace that and road work.
Was that replacing the culvert as well as the road work?
Yep.
Yes.
Because I'll be honest, if there's any development down at the corner of Beach and East Shore, I worry about the amount of traffic that would see and the hardship that would cause to the culvert.
Yeah.
And I also worry about Beach Road Bridge being out at perhaps compromised with a East Shore culvert situation.
Yeah.
That would be not good.
Yeah, and I have again, like the Beulah Heights culvert, you got water on both sides again. And this is even tighter area than what Beulah
Heights is, yeah.
Is there any way to signage or whatever to restrict the construction traffic that we've heard from a lot of people going through there?
The bridge it's got signs on both sides of it, what it's weighted for. Sides flags,
It is what it
flashing
is.
lights.
Yeah.
To enforce that, unfortunately,
Yeah, okay. Are you tagging in?
Yep. I'll send out an email on that, just to do more strict enforcement on that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have portable scales or anything like that where we can actually weigh and give an overweight ticket.
Yeah.
But we can issue for the failable bay sign. We don't have a truck inspector. I think county only has one for in the whole county. Yeah, actually, the officer I'm talking to tomorrow is a truck inspector, but, yeah, we'll do more to enforce that, and then maybe if we can get some orange flags or something on those, just to bring some better attention to the 8-ton limit.
Yeah, because it's a DOT regulated sign. It's actually pretty small. It doesn't, it's not like a speed limit sign. It doesn't really stand out that much.
Right. Yeah, we can watch that a little closer. How often was that bridge inspected?
This one was the first time it's ever been. It's been inspected, but first time to a major extent that this is. And I do believe this, Beulah Heights, Stringers Bridge, and this were the three that.
The three.
Carver School.
Carver School, yeah.
But we don't have much historical reference or from
Past.
previous inspections, yeah, okay.
Because being under that 6 to 20, or under the 20 feet, it didn't require an inspection.
Okay.
An annual inspection, but I don't, and to this, I haven't even found out, is this gonna be an annual inspection, or was this a one-time thing for the 6 to 20s?
Right.
I mean, they had,
We've had.
they found 17,000 structures. When we did this LSIP program that came out, they had 1,700, I do believe, apply for it for only $30 million. So that doesn't go very far.
No, but that, 2 years ago, they started the inventory.
Yeah.
Up till that point, there was nothing statewide.
No.
And then they found out they got 17,000. Then they commissioned the next year, which was last year, to do the inspection.
Yeah.
And that's when I think we got 7 reports. We have 7 culverts in our town, 6, 7, in that range.
Yeah.
But, all of them are beginning to fail. They're 70 years throughout the state, and that's part of the problem. That's why we're pushing for
And
funding.
Unfortunately, all of them have water going through them.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And they're all similar age, similar structure with the fieldstone head walls. Some are single barrel, some are double barrel.
Is that similar DOT inspection like the one we saw at
Yep.
with Beulah Heights, all right.
Like I said, I will get
I'll-
it to
yeah,
all of
I'd
you,
like- we'll look
and
at it.
anybody else will,
Yeah, it's just-
if need be, we'll get it on the website so you guys can see the actual inspection report for that. Because they do head walls, inside, outside. So,
So I have some ideas in budget time to talk about this relative to other things. If there's something creative we can do to try and help with this, I think we can discuss it at that time. I do want to thank everybody for the petition. I did speak to Lloyd on the phone just this past weekend, and at the Lindy's, right? We talked at Lindy's. And I think Angie Peterson, is that who? Angela, yeah. She talked to me last year when they were talking about dredging. So I know the issues there, and we know about it. And I think at budget time, we have to try and discuss this. There's just no way to do all these culverts at one time. And that's been the struggle, funding-wise.
In your view of the remaining culverts, is this the one that's in most need of repair?
That's one of the top 2.
What would be the other?
Carver School would be the other. That one is actually a double barrel and it's washed out in between.
And I just was out there talking to a resident on that one.
So, I mean, I think for tonight, we could, Todd, you could provide us with a copy of the last WISDOT report.
Yep.
And then could you also look into, the state must provide some guidance as to when we might expect an answer on the grant. Can we get a?
Yeah,
can we get some
check
clarity on that?
Yeah, Tim Lynch actually wrote that grant, so.
So we should know if it's gonna be this year.
I'm not sure when the
prior to
let
budget
date was,
season or
yeah.
not.
Is that a federal grant?
State.
State grant.
The other thing in your memorandum, Supervisor Church, is to create a baseline for reference. Was there anything, I mean,
Well,
in addition to the
I think
23
if
assessment?
we get the report from
2023?
the 2023 inspection, I think that creates a baseline that we can use.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if there's any other action in
Yeah.
addition to that.
We just wanted to make sure it stays a little bit more on the radar rather than some forgotten.
That's why I want to get up and say that we did try
Apply
for
for a
this.
grant.
In hopes that third time's a charm that.
And if it's deteriorating, that's happened with Beulah Heights, right? We can request an update to the report, right? An update to the severity of the issue.
The inspection.
Of the inspection.
Yeah, I actually do believe when we had them actually come back out and re-inspect Beulah Heights Road culvert, because more had happened since the inspection, and they rated it one less. But it still wasn't bad enough, and I do believe he came over and looked at Beulah Heights.
Did he
We were
write
all
up a new
talking
report, though? Because I remember when we left Beulah Heights, he lowered that to a 4.
Yeah.
And that was resubmitted, but I don't know what happened.
I don't know if he did another.
Okay.
He was gonna go and at least look at it.
And, I mean, we've got a lot of concerned residents, some brought pictures, I think, appeal to the residents that are most affected by this. If you have information to share, specific concerns, pictures, history of the culvert and the state of disrepair, the rate that it's degrading, I think provide that to the township.
Yeah.
That information could help.
We
with-
could always go back in like we did and have them come and look at it again, and maybe it'd work.
Yeah, inspectors can overlook things if you have pictures and things that only helps with the grant application.
Yep.
Hey, one super quick question on the grant application. What span do we keep using? Do we use the span of the waterway, the original bridge, the bridge before it sunk, or the bridge now that's sunk way now? Which span are we using when we apply for this grant is my question.
It's not much bigger, but it's slightly bigger than what's there, and I do believe it's a concrete box culvert, not.
And
so,
are we going to 20 feet, or?
No.
We can't get there, okay.
So I don't know if there's any historians in the room, but, Beulah Heights, there's a bridge under that road that was covered with earth. Nobody knew about it, right? So
Yeah.
had we known, who knows? Maybe a grant would have gotten approved. I don't know. But if you have any information like that, share it with the town so that we can take a look and incorporate that into any grant rating.
Well, actually, I got a couple of photos, and, many of you probably don't even know the history. I've been out here since the middle '60s, okay? And I can tell you right now, because I've been through that culvert bridge a gazillion times when I was 12 years old, 13, 14, 15, you name it, okay? And there was about, from the water level to the top of the culvert, easy 6 foot, okay? The roadway going over, I did it a million times on my bicycle. It probably has dropped 4 feet.
So.
Yeah,
I don't want to stop public comment, but it's technically, so if you have data like that you could share, that's very important.
Yeah,
Actually,
we don't need to share it right now, but just get it to us.
Yeah.
and actually, to that point, I think Dockside has some of the documentation as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know the last time we did a grant for this, through historically, they know how much that culvert has dropped. I think the last time they had figured it out at like 2.5 or 3 feet that it had settled, because it's physically on an angle from lakeside to the channel side, so it's.
I'm gonna leave these a couple pictures just for history.
Okay.
There's one here of the original bridge, probably 70 years ago, compared to what we have today.
And you want
So-
those
so
back?
just-
Mr. McAdoo, do you want these back?
No, I don't care. Cost me $4 a piece of.
Okay.
Thank you, Lloyd.
But yeah, there is some measurement throughout the grant writing processes. They know how much it's settled, and it's something that I've known this was gonna come up sooner than later, but it's still all up to a big money thing.
Yeah.
Do you know when, like,
So,
around what year the culvert was
we-
installed, just to be able to ask?
We're going wild here.
people of that generation?
Public is not supposed to be talking at this time, I'm
You asked for
sorry.
historical information, so I was just wondering what generation we should be talking.
Talk to
to clarify, I was asking, report back to us so that we have a meeting to get through here. Really want the input, just can't
Yes.
process it
Yes.
all right now live in the meeting.
So, thank
I
you.
think that's-
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
What I
Yes,
could-
thank you
that's
for
my-
your input.
What I know on that, so it's not forgotten. There's a grant out there for it that we're trying for.
Thank
I
you,
will
Todd.
Talk to people and see when this might.
And the other action, at least from my point of view, is when we get to budget talks, I think we talk about this.
Yeah.
Any other action from the board that we should motion or on this?
No, I think you guys have
Good.
done a lot of listening, and I appreciate you listening and hearing the concerns.
I really
keeping this
appreciate,
on the radar.
I really appreciate the input back too, and thanks for your time, Lloyd, too. We'll keep talking. So now we are at 11C, and that's, I think, yours, right?
Yeah, so with the success of the recent farmers market, I noticed again passing by that we don't have a platform for the railroad. I know it was discussed, I would say, about 2 years ago. And it was brought to my attention that there's nearly 20,000 people that are patrons of the railroad that go right past here. So obviously, our event was a great attraction, as well as to the traffic on ES. Things continue to change, actually. I've gotten some further updates. And the railroad president, Ward Komorowski, is, kind of taking the lead and researching the requirements related to this. I don't believe the trains are ADA compliant, but we're still looking into the platforms. And there's pictures both at the railroad station at Elegant Farmer in the packet. And so they are in the early stages. The board of the railroad is looking into it, and they're just looking for like someone from our board to work with and look into the opportunity. The land there is like a right-of-way that the railroad owns. So they are already working on potential volunteers. So it's really, I don't know that we need to specifically take any action, other than if you want to agree or authorize for me to be like the contact person temporarily with the railroad to understand the impact and potential costs.
The one thing you left off is, in October, they have 4 weekends that they drop off kids with costumes and stuff.
They have
And
a
right-
trick-or-treat trains.
A trick-or-treat thing. And then, so in the park, they set up games
Game
and
stations.
handouts with
Candy.
candy. And
So
the
they
kids-
drop them there now without a station?
They have a stool.
We have
that they
just a
pull
little
off.
step, yeah.
Box step.
Yeah, and there's also this month, there's a picnic at the park. I think it's actually this week. So, but it would provide opportunity for increased activity here at our town.
And I think the intent is to heavily have this funded by donation.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I detected out of it.
Yeah, so right now, again, I don't think there's any action to take other than, that we support the idea of a platform, not at our expense, and that we could have a contact person for the railroad.
So I like the idea. I saw you put together the memo. I know there's been some discussion, I forget, might have been as recently as last month, about like a trail and connecting the communities and, being in the right of way of the railroad and then moving it to the other side of the ES, et cetera. I would like to see ultimately, different modes of transport for children and families, railroad, biking, walking, and I think
you can't close.
And I think if there was a stop, then, I could imagine a future where a kid could hop the trolley, take it in one direction into the village and bike back or what have you. I think, and you put this in your memo, Michelle, I think we could authorize the Parks Committee to pursue it further and, work on more of a comprehensive agreement or with the railroad?
I think at this time, the latest update I had from the railroad is that right now they are willing to lead it. And just kind of, until they get a little bit further down in determining ADA requirements and things like that, that they're working with potential volunteers.
So they would come with a proposal to us.
Right.
Type of thing.
Right.
I know that when this was discussed a couple of years ago, there was the question of liability. Who would assume the liability for the platform? Would it be the town or would it be the train?
Who does today?
Probably.
There is no platform, so.
I would
They're
guess that.
getting off.
I would guess that depends on where it's located. Is it located within the right of way?
In the right of way, right, yeah.
It's in the right of way.
Yeah.
So,
And that's why, yeah, we're at this point, I think we're happy to let them take the lead.
right.
To minimize that right now as well.
Yeah, if it's off the train, it should be in the right way.
Right. It has to do with the train
Right.
exclusively, so
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
All right.
I think that they have the most information and their platform at the Elegant Farmer. I was thinking that they need to seek out who developed that platform to maybe do the platform here.
I think they have some of those measurements, and they potentially have a donor with a lift, which might be an option instead of a ramp.
That would be really cool.
So, like I said, they are working on it, and just would appreciate like the support of the town, that we're open to it and interested in it, but not able to contribute financially at this point. So,
Well,
like
I'll
I
be
s-
sure not to put the
So-
perennial garden over there.
A memorandum
don't-
of understanding or something, or just?
No,
or
I
a
think just
discussion?
moral support, yeah, so I don't know that we need to take action today unless we want to, yeah, I don't think we need to take action.
Okay.
So, it's progressing though.
Right.
All right.
So I think it's yours.
Yes. All right, so a little background. As you know, we extended the Sloan Lake buoys on Lake Beulah to 200 feet throughout the whole lake. There was a permit in place that was approved by Jason Roberts. That is the current plan that we're under. We knew as we went along there would be some tweaks and little changes, which some were done, and a map was updated, and a new permit was placed. In the meantime, the local DNR warden currently does not approve buoy permits, so that has been bumped up to Robert Nealand. So at that point, Robert Nealand looked at our buoy map and had a different take on some of the buoys that are not 200 feet. I mean, they're practically speaking, they're common sense where they're located, but some of them, like in the channel, you have a lot of marsh and lily pad, and shore is 600, 800, 1,000 feet away. So technically, it's not 200 feet. So he wanted us to clean that up, which they gave us some examples of how to do that. We basically, if you turn to the, and this is just a template ordinance, I'm looking to authorize Attorney Mills to amend the current ordinance. He can use this as a guide, and there's a couple of suggestions here. But what they asked for was that the buoys that are not 200 feet from shore, because of where they're laid out, Lake Beulah is a very irregular lake with lots of extended marsh shoreline, identify those by area, which has been done. For example, the channel, Stumpy Bay, and then buoys identified and GPS tagged or identified. So they're just looking for identification of those buoys and described in that area to be able to be understood by looking at the map, which I believe we have achieved. And that should satisfy the request by Robert Nealon to get this buoy permit passed, and then we'll be up to a new thing, we hope. So, I mean, we're following his guidance, okay? So that's all we can do.
So, Mike,
go ahead.
Good for questions. Okay, so it seems odd to me to list out, to have an ordinance with all this detail, latitude, longitude, and buoy numbers and things. Is there any opportunity here, and I know this is at the request of some of the DNR, but opportunity to create ordinance language that provides some flexibility to the management district, or, ultimately in the case of, Potters Lake PLPRD, to, give them some latitude to set the buoy locations as they see fit?
DNR doesn't want that.
Well,
and from their standpoint, it's a legal placing of a buoy. It's an ordinance that we're enforcing, by fine. And they need to know that those buoys are going to be at exact locations and consistent. Recognize, will it?
I've worked with Supervisor Franz and Robert Nealon quite a bit on this. His position is kind of new to where they're really started to look into these ordinances and buoy placements and GPS location. He actually told me that he takes a map and he maps out every GPS location to make sure that they're corresponding with the laws and things like that. So it has gotten very strict in the last, I think just this last year when that position was created. So
Yeah.
it didn't sound like there's a whole lot of flexibility with his
No.
description.
I think you talked to him, I talked to him.
Has state statute changed recently?
I don't know that, but I know that the person that's approving the permit changed. And his interpretation of what we have to do is different. So we're sort of beholden to go through him.
They technically are not at 200.
They're technically not.
So.
Yeah, I mean, by the
that's
letter
what
of the
he's
law,
asking.
they're not, right.
That's what he's asking.
So,
Okay.
And, yeah, so we have it all listed out. The other aspect is that they also now, private citizens can put buoys out themselves, but they have to get those permitted as well, authorized by us. So I think they want consistency. I know the management district has communicated that through their channels and emails. In fact, an email went out today that described that and gave a copy of the permit form. And they can do that, or management district also mentioned that they would be happy to take that buoy and place that for them and take control of it. So they have a couple options.
There was never a requirement to put an ordinance out with this, so it has to be really new. You used to be able to put, the lake districts would put the permit in and put it wherever they're gonna put it, so I don't know. I haven't talked with Bob Nealon.
And then with Attorney Mills, there's one area in section 1 on the ordinance that I'll talk to you about, but I just added in, not all of them are greater than 200 feet. Some are actually less than because of a tight channel. And we need space to get through. So I think just to cover our bases, I suggest that we would put that in there as well. And I'll give you a copy of this as well.
And we need to add, there's a required public hearing?
Yes,
for this?
exactly. We have to go through the process since we are amending an ordinance. So, right, it would be.
And because there's another municipality involved on just a slope.
Correct. Yeah, there's about 200 feet of land just to the east, or the east of the boat launch. That is village land, which they acquired from the Thomas Farm, So
I'm not sure if typically we put in the ordinance that a public hearing has been held. before you submit the new proposed ordinance with the water marker application and permit.
So we would, you're saying we do the public hearing before the ordinance is passed by us?
Yes.
Okay, but we.
And I'll make
we
reference
present it,
in the
we take
ordinance
public
that we already had the public hearing.
Yeah.
So the DNR has no question about whether or not we did it.
Yeah, well, and I know then it has to be submitted to the DNR for the review. I think they have 20 days to review it. And then they come back and we vote on it again, and then there's a period,
Yeah.
waiting period before.
I don't know how this would
Be
be done this summer.
Oh, it won't be.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, it's not. So, but I think that based on the fact that we need to get this updated permit approved, we'll get it done when we can, and then we just move forward with it next year.
And during a public hearing, would we have a draft of the ordinance at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you'd have maps of where the buoys would be placed. I mean, if anyone even shows up.
Right.
So.
But we have to hold one.
It's a legal part of the process.
Could be before.
Okay, so we could get that on the schedule, and that would give you enough time, Attorney
Well, you would
Mills,
draft
to
it
review and
first,
finalize a draft? or-
Right. I'll take Brian's revisions and just add simple language regarding the public hearing into this draft. I think we'd be ready to go at that point.
Okay.
Is that public hearing, can that be incorporated into a regular town board meeting, or is that something separate?
I think we have had them
Right
held
before.
prior to
okay.
a board meeting before.
That's
Okay.
what I would suggest. We could make it pretty easy. But we do need.
Yeah, so what we would look for is a motion to approve Attorney Mills to write the amendment to the ordinance for the Slow Wake ordinance for Lake Beulah.
I'll make the
And,
motion.
then I think that's what we would need to do. And then we'd have to do a public hearing and.
Right, but for
now, it's to.
For tonight, we just need to authorize Attorney.
Authorize Attorney Mills to draft the amendment to the ordinance.
Is that your motion, Supervisor?
Yep,
Alonso?
that's a motion.
I'll second, and then just quick discussion.
We can have discussion, absolutely. We do a lot of discussion.
The public hearing, that just gets scheduled, or does that have to be part of the motion?
No.
No,
We'll
we
just
just-
handle it.
yeah,
All right,
okay.
I'm good.
It's kind of like the October one we had.
Yeah.
That got scheduled after. So that's
We have a
a
second.
first and a second. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion carries. So now Supervisor Smith, you are up with 11E, I believe.
All right, my agenda item on agendas.
Yeah.
So I just thought we could clean things up a little bit. I tried to put a bit of detail in the memo, but from time to time there's announcements that the chair makes, or maybe your supervisors make, but we don't really have an agenda item, and then we kind of forget about things along the way. So I thought it'd be nice to just, as a regular order of business, just include an announcements item, upcoming events, what have you. And then my intent with the unfinished and new business, technically, we've got this disclaimer in the in our agenda at the top that reads, all items listed are up for discussion, consideration, deliberation, and possible formal action. But I don't know what you all think about this, but there's been a couple of times where and it predates the current board, but over the last couple of years, there's been a couple of times where get a little turned around in discussion and not quite sure if things were noticed right or what have you. So I thought it might be, for that reason, and because just to save us a little bit of trouble, have the unfinished and new business read discussion and possible action on the following. That way we're not including that with each of our items. In the past, I've seen, items on the agenda that read like approve X, or deny why. And I don't think that's ever really the intent. A lot of times the intent is discuss and act. So that was my meaning there. And then I thought, and this just kind of came up now with the buoy issue, but future agenda items at the end, not for discussion, but just to socialize it a little bit, give the public some insight as to what we intend to bring, maybe next month or a subsequent meeting. We've got staff here, the clerk, Attorney Mills, so that, if we intend to bring a resolution or an ordinance change, there can be a little bit of dialogue around procedure. And then last but not least, I think we've run into some challenges in the past with some of the reports to the departments in that staff, it's part of these things are in the consent agenda, and they're not, they haven't always been present to answer questions or have discussion. And I view the police department, the ETA, ESD, and DPW as really core responsibilities of this board, core priorities for the town. And oftentimes there's emergent issues in each of those department updates. And if we limit it to the consent agenda, that doesn't allow the police chief or the representative ETA, ESD, or Supervisor Shield to provide context or emphasis on items that might be of interest to the board. So I'd like to get in the habit of just, going through those reports, having that presented. Doesn't mean we go through, 100 pages of detail, but allow the department heads to provide emphasis and context on any particular areas of concern. So that's kind of the gist. That's the intent of my memo there.
Any thoughts?
I like the idea of having announcements and future agenda items. I think that it allows us to get a head start on things, and that there are things, especially with parks, like when the Kettle Moraine Land Trust reaches out to me with stuff that I didn't have time to put on the agenda specifically. I think that would be a very advantageous part of future agendas.
So that would be things that we do not take action on.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to, because you can't
wouldn't
have
be
a generic
noticed.
item and then take action.
Wouldn't
So
be noticed properly if that were the case, yeah. I'm all for the ETA, ESD, being, reported or reviewed. There's going to be a lot going on, and the 2 meetings I've been at, there's very low attendance, so maybe that would bring more awareness into the town residents as far as what's going on. They can look in the packet and see it, but I think if it's discussed, and again, it doesn't have to be long, just pertinent issues that are being dealt with. So obviously I'd be the one doing it, so I wouldn't have any problem with that.
I think we've gone back and forth on some of the various department reports. Having it in the consent agenda, there is the opportunity to take it out, but if we want to try pulling it back out again, that sets the precedent for those employees to be here, which is, for the police and DPW, that's extra hours for them.
Yeah, and we can pull, like tonight, we talked about the boat patrol, and we said, let's pull it out so that it's done. I know in other cases, like with Clerk Olson and other situations, like even DPW, if it's a special case, it's listed as a separate item in the agenda. Yes.
My goal when the consent agenda was approved, but it never took any traction, because I wasn't in any situation to really influence anything, was to maintain the consent agenda and then have the reports listed below, so there was an order that if it was going to be pulled out, those representatives knew when it was going to be their opportunity to speak to anything specific, such as things tonight. Because when it was pulled out tonight for the different things, not everything was listed under reports of departments because it was pulled out above. Whereas if, and I get that it's gonna add a little length to the agenda, but it's not, it's inconsequential, because you'd have the consent agenda, and then you'd have those different departments listed, and if they pulled it out, they know that, okay, this is where it's gonna be. I'm gonna speak after DPW, I'm gonna speak after the police report, if there is additional items that need to be pulled out. That was when the consent agenda first came to fruition, was my thought, and I was doing the same thing in the minutes as a placeholder.
Yep.
But
So you're saying it would be in both?
Right, it would be in the consent, but there'd be a priority listed so that you knew how to go through it, I think is what you're
because
saying.
now, there were a couple of things brought out tonight that were not mentioned here, because they got pulled out, so they just kind of got put into places.
Well,
Whereas if you had
There
those
was one thing,
placeholders.
yeah, the police report.
I tried to do it in the order.
I know, but I'm just saying that if those placeholders were there, then those folks would know.
I think it's also an opportunity, like, if, we have public comment, and individuals might be, expressing concern or asking questions around, I don't know, how the 4th of July fireworks went in terms of police response or fire response. And then that gives those departments, not so much fire, Brian, but the police chief, an opportunity to maybe speak to public concerns and things as well. So so I'll make the motion and to update the town board meeting agenda, adding announcements, modifying unfinished business, new business, adding future agenda items, and then moving the police, ETA, ESD, and DPW update out of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I guess maybe we should ask Attorney Mills, how is it different to add discussion and possible action on the following within the agenda versus at the top of the page?
I like the idea just because this became somewhat of an issue with the lawsuit that has been stayed. And I had to point out, well, it's right up at the top where it says discussion and possible action is, anticipated on any item. If it were closer on the agenda to where we're actually discussing things, I don't have a problem with that. It's just adding a couple words to a couple lines.
And I didn't.
Value.
Yeah, I do think it has some value.
And I didn't create this out of thin air. I mean, a lot of other communities follow this format, so just offer that.
So we have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So
And
all of the changes as proposed in the memo.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
give it a try. Now we have 11, or 10F. No, 11F, sorry.
I think
11F.
It's me again, right?
That's you again, yes.
Okay, so, Ayler's memo from March 9th. So, I had a lot of trouble understanding what was outlined there in that, from that March meeting. So it read, the motion read, assist with a 5-year financial management plan, budgeting process review, improvement recommendations for $6,500 in funds. It's ambitious. There's a lot there, and I thought we ought to. My intention is to pause any action, any review with Ayler's until we can get through a budget workshop, and then understand, what our if we have any specific needs of Ayler's, any concrete actions that might come out of a the budget workshop leading into the budget process. I didn't have time to review it, but Mr. Mills provided the proposal from Ehlers just as we walked in here. So I guess that's kind of where I'm coming from. Joe, you shot me an email after I sent the memo. I guess first and foremost, I'd just like to get a little clarity on exactly what we're spending the $6,500 on, where we're at with that process, how many dollars we've spent to date, and then I just don't know if, I mean, this was made, the original motion was made in March. We haven't yet started the budgeting process. So it didn't line up to me in terms of where we're at in the calendar year and where we're at with staffing right now.
I didn't go back and pull all my documentation, but I have provided extensive and exhaustive discussion on this. The purpose of a financial management plan per Ehlers is to look back 5 years, project 5 years forward, and then support our budgeting process. So she was going to look at the capital spending for both police and DPW, which I worked with Gurecki and Shield to pull together a list of those things. So they've been given to her. And the other thing she is doing is working with us on the levy limit worksheet, which I have explained numerous times now. I am most interested in a clause on the back of the levy limit worksheet, and I don't remember the number, I think it's J or something, where if we get all three communities in the ETA ESD district to pass a resolution, then we are able to add CPI plus 2% to our levy to cover fire and rescue. And we don't have to, but it offers us the opportunity, and we've had some financial challenges dealing with rescue and fire. So all of those things are happening, and I know I've heard from the resident a number of times here that it's unbounded. I don't understand that question. Again, it's been extremely clear in many packets. It is $6,500. And I think even Treasurer Loth could clarify. I did even a clarification email with her that said, we're not going over $6,500. What does this include? Are you going to tell me when we're going over $6,500 if we're asking too many questions? And she said, absolutely. So it is $6,500. She has been working on this, again, since March, but primarily there's been a lot of interaction on documents through June, including capital planning, audits, 5-year audits, some loan information, and other information. The demand on our treasurer is very little. This isn't something that's demanding a ton of her time. We just need to get financial data into the system. And like an audit, the 5 years of audits, that was a PDF, right?
Except for this year.
Except for this year, yeah. We still were going through the audit. In fact, we did a review this morning, right? So I guess I'd never heard a question from you. So
I have a few.
Okay, go ahead.
How much have we spent with Ehlers to date?
I have no idea.
And when do we expect the project to be completed?
She just
We pay
sent.
upon completion.
What?
We pay upon completion from the
Right.
contract.
I understand that, but
She
that
just
wasn't my
said-
question. When do we expect it to be completed? It's been 3
It's
months.
pending.
It's
4
pending
months.
because she's going to support our budget workshop. She's going to come and present to the board as well. And it wasn't like it was going to be done by April or May. That wasn't the intent. The intent was to analyze this, help us through the budget process so that we have a more structured approach at budgeting than the fiasco I went through last year. It's got to be more structured. It's got to be more controlled. We're trying to set a process forward, and I thought she would be an excellent person, or Ellers would be an excellent group to help guide us in that process.
So I think there's been some confusion because not all of this, I asked, I didn't get a lot of information ahead of time, and maybe there's things shared prior to my time on the board, I don't know. But now, one concern I have is Ehlers, and I just got this today, so bear with me, 5-year financial management plan. Ehlers will assess a $6,500 base fee for this portion of work, okay? Then it goes on, budget process review and recommendations for improvement. Ehlers will assess a $250 per hour fee for this portion of the work. So I'm trying to reconcile the motion back in March. We authorized $6,500 for financial management planning, budget process review, and improvement recommendations.
Right.
But there's two different fee structures. There's a fixed cost for the 5-year financial management plan of $6,500. The budget process review and recommendations for improvement is an additional $250 an hour.
First off, I never received a question from you to get the contract. It was in packets over the last year, okay? That contract is in a packet. I can guarantee you I can find it. We did not do everything. That is a proposal to give us an idea of all the things that she would be able to offer us. We made a specific motion to authorize her to do the financial management plan, and if you do look in there, there is a section, about a page and a half if I'm not mistaken, of what a financial management plan means. I asked her to also help with the levy limit worksheet. It's not going to be anything super. She's going to help guide. She's not charging us for that. That's part of the $6,500. I said I clarified directly with her in an email exchange that it's $6,500, and that's it. Anything over that, she would be telling us. And I'm betting we're over 50% of the money spent, just based upon what I've seen. She sent in a draft financial management plan actually today. She was supposed to do it on Friday. So that's a draft for us to start taking a look at.
So this, we have 5 of us, a chairman and 4 supervisors. We're all duly elected to represent this town, and it's the responsibility of this 5-member board to be familiar with the budgeting process, the financial state of the town. So I'd make a motion that Chairman Jones and Treasurer Loth copy all board members on any correspondence to or from Ehlers from March 9th to today, and all correspondence going forward. I think it's a responsibility this entire board shares. It's not a responsibility simply of the chairman. And I'm concerned that you just mentioned that you were presented a draft financial plan. If there's a draft financial plan circulating, I think it's in this town's best interest for the entire board to have access to that in the same manner as the chairman.
And you would.
So that's my motion.
And you would, because it went to both Gene and I.
Point of order, there's a motion on the table.
I didn't hear a second.
Second.
Oh, now we have a second. I'm going to continue my discussion.
Yep.
It just came in today. I didn't get a copy of the signatures, the petition. I didn't get a copy of that. I've been talking with Lloyd, and I talked with Angela Peterson a year ago. So it would have been nice to see some of that happen ahead of just getting it dumped into a packet.
I'm sorry, I
Okay,
sent those.
this is
for the
not
deadline.
on topic.
All right,
I
Stay on
sent it
topic.
Okay, I'm
for the
sorry.
deadline, and it didn't make it because of a technical error, not because of me.
I'm sorry. I won't go off there. You were going to get a copy. When have I not been copying everybody on things?
Yeah. For perspective, under the previous chairman, there was no communication between meetings due to the concerns around the walking quorum. We have made those changes to blind copy everyone to avoid a walking quorum. But prior to this chairman, the first time you saw anything was Friday before the meeting in a packet. So obviously, we're making improvements. In addition, we have never had a 5-year financial management plan. So we don't see the freight train that's coming at us and we are simply focused on year over year. This is what we did last year. This is what we do this year. So that is the intent behind this, so we can do some better planning, understand the big picture. We never, when we looked at our borrowing, never looked at how many years we have, when the loans are coming due. That information was never provided by the prior clerk and treasurer. So in order to execute on our fiduciary responsibility, we need this detail, we need the systems. Again, it's more important than ever this year with our transition in our staff, because we don't have complete status of where we are year to date. This was the first report we got this month on where we are in our budget, especially with all of these changes compared to our actual expenses. We don't know if we're at the 50% where we should be or if we're already at 80%.
Share all the concerns, appreciate the information that was shared today. I think my intent with my motion is so that this information is circulated in an extremely timely manner. Other members of the board can contribute to the information provided to or respond to Ehlers. We can do that and avoid a quorum because we're simply copying one another on the correspondences.
And we can do that today.
Yeah, I can get all of those to you.
She would be the one to do
Yeah,
that.
that's my request, is catch everybody up, and then going forward, copy everyone on the board. That's it.
Do we need a motion?
There is a motion.
There was a motion and a
I was saying,
second
do we
already.
need a motion to do that? That sounds like everyday business.
It is every, but there is a motion and a second.
It is everyday business, but it's not everyday, it's not how this information's been shared or distributed amongst this board to date. So it's not everyday business.
So, and your motion is specific
To Ehlers.
emails regarding Ehlers.
Correct.
That
To inform.
were first received.
Any correspondence.
Any correspondence.
Or reports.
Related to Ehlers.
Correct.
Yep.
That's all.
So we should do that for everybody. Say everybody should communicate.
Yeah.
Everybody.
We're a 5-member board.
It just seems like it's a little redundant, but.
Yeah, I
any-
guess it's really, I think what the communication is
It's
now.
not redundant because each individual board member has a fiduciary duty.
Right, but I think the communication, obviously, the end result is what will be passed on to all the board members, but.
Yes.
Whatever. So,
I might want to provide input to a draft financial plan prior to a board meeting.
we just got it today.
Yeah. Well,
And it was going to go out to everybody. This is the part. It's almost like I'm not doing my job or something. It's very frustrating. But any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
Joe? Can I also ask that Supervisor Smith, just so we know that something happened with the stated motion, to either table it or remove it?
A motion to, would you want a motion to remove?
It's up to you.
I guess, I mean, I can make a statement. In light of the information presented today, I don't think there's any reason to rescind that prior, the prior motion from March. I don't.
Understood. So I would ask that you withdraw the motion then.
Okay. Well, I never made it.
It was
Or remove.
action for a motion to rescind. There was discussion,
Dis-
made it different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it requires.
It wasn't just motion to rescind.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Discussion and possible action for a motion.
All right.
Okay, we're on to the attorney's report.
First one, 2026-14.
I actually had an agenda memorandum on that. It's not on here, but
Members of the board, I'm going to tell you that when the packet was produced, I was waiting for an editable copy to put Clerk Owens as the signature line, and I apologize that in the haste of getting it out, those were omitted, but you did have them on your desks tonight.
Well, it would have been required for all on the agenda, so I don't know if you have all of them.
They're all on the agenda.
Yeah, I understand. Did you make the change on 14, 15, 16, 17?
I made the change on everything that was editable, and then you sent over the two that I requested from you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the first one, 2026-14, it is an amendment which changes language to say that the town is instructed to place markers and these buoys, to say that town lake districts are authorized and directed to place, and the town will fall to a secondary position rather than take the lead, which is what it did read before.
I think it referenced police.
Yes.
Or placing the buoys, right?
Yes, I think that's where it came
I don't think they necessarily want to
from.
do that, so it's, no? Is that right?
It's never been done before.
And historically, LBMD has been.
what's the
Otters Lake does too, places them.
Yeah.
Right, so in the draft, the entirety of number 1, listed under 1, is the new language. And it doesn't need to wait for passage because it's an amendment, not a new ordinance.
So I'll make a motion to approve the amendment to ordinance number 2026-14, amending section 16.05.240 sub 1, Lake District responsibility for buoy placement.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next is ordinance 2026-15. It's an ordinance amending the comprehensive plan and land use classification for tax parcel PET 500003A. This is really a ratification of approval the town board gave back on May 12th of 2025. So the question had come up as to what is required that Jen, as Plan Commission Secretary, send up to county whenever we vote on these land use amendments. And the response she received from whomever she spoke to at county said, all you need to do is send this. Well, I went back and there is a specific procedure outlined by Walworth County itself that we adopted in one of our own ordinances that said, here's how you do it if you want to get on their calendar for August or September whenever they do their annual changes. So I had Jen go back, and there were a couple where we didn't follow the county's stated procedure. That's what ordinances 15 and 16 do. They ratify the summary approval that was previously given by the town board to make it a more formal requested format.
And the parcel in question was already rezoned, right? This is just.
Exactly.
Comprehensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even though technically these are newer ordinances, they're ratifying past board behavior. So I don't foresee there being an issue if the board wants to make an exception and approve these tonight. Otherwise, they'll just be approved next month.
So
Because they were presented to the planning commission and the town board in 2025 and submitted to county before last year's updates to the 2050 plan.
Yes, I do believe that is true.
Yes,
And-
I was on the commission then.
And I think this goes through in arrears anyhow.
Right.
First, the town acts, you perform the rezones and things, and then you catch up the plan.
Right.
So,
So it's my suggestion that the board can approve both of these because you've already approved it.
so I'll make a motion to, you want them one at a time, Jim, or together?
Yeah, if you would, I guess it doesn't matter.
Okay.
They're listed individually, so maybe make two separate.
I'll do one at a time. I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance 2026-15, ordinance of the town of East Troy, code amending the comprehensive plan and land use classification for tax parcel PET 5000003A as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-16, an ordinance of the town of East Troy code amending the comprehensive plan and land use classification for tax parcel PET 3600003 as presented.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is ordinance 2026-17. This is a new ordinance, so it won't be able to be passed tonight. An ordinance creating Chapter 16.10.045 of the Town of East Troy Municipal Code requiring peer address numbers. This came up last month. I did get information from Chief Gorecki indicating what his preference was, and it was this draft closely follows what I believe it was Town of Delavan did in terms of their ordinance. The chief wanted it to be required for all new peer permits moving forward, but not necessarily require it for all existing peers. So that's how I drafted it.
So I think it captures a lot of the discussion we had, allows, residents to identify a reflective sticker or, to put it on. It's not requiring them to buy a sign from the town or anything like that. A question came up, if memory serves, when we discussed this earlier, to like a cost of like a fine amount. Is that necessary, Jim?
The chief indicated that he wasn't necessarily looking for a penalty provision in our ordinance. Now, if that's something the board wants to include, we would have to include it in our draft.
Okay, I don't see a need for that. We could, if it became an issue, could always revisit.
True.
But when I introduced this, I also said that I wasn't looking to penalize people, but I was trying to encourage safety amongst the users of the lake.
So I think the ordinance captures that.
Yes, I agree that.
So we got a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-7.
We have to.
We can approve this, we can approve the draft language. We can't approve the actual ordinance.
It's got to go 2 meetings.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the draft language for ordinance number 2026-17, ordinance creating chapter 16.10.045 of the Town of East Troy Municipal Code requiring peer address numbers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is a resolution. It's Resolution 2026-18. It's a resolution that updates the town's 1998 transfer of maintenance and control over the town right-of-way at the termination of Lake Lane to Potter's Lake Protection and Rehabilitation District. This shortens the review period from 10 years to 5 years, and also requires specific language regarding the district indemnifying the town and the town being able to verify that we've been added as an additional insured on the Lake District's insurance policy.
Jim, can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
I read the electronic copy. I don't have a paper copy in front of me. It wasn't in my packet. Could we move this one to and allow Jean or Caitlin to print out a couple copies? I don't think Barb has a copy in front of her either. I did review it. It was in the electronic version. It's just not physically in front of me.
Yeah, I saw it in the electronic version, but not the printed.
And I did not read the electronic.
Dash 18.
The resolution.
Resolution.
Oh.
18.
Here, I can give you this one. I got this from Attorney Trevatuski.
Oh,
Yeah, we
yeah.
didn't have it.
Yeah, we had it in the packet, yeah.
No, we didn't have it, period.
You didn't get it? Didn't physically have it.
Oh, I saw a copy that was circulating.
We just got an email today.
So do we just,
We can.
do we move it to next month? or-
We can, because we're currently operating under an existing
Yeah.
lease agreement,
It
and this
doesn't
won't
expire.
even
Yeah.
commence until that one ends.
Does this get signed now, or does it get signed 2 years when that one ends? I mean, it seems,
Technically, we should bring it up at the termination of the existing,
correct.
but we can do it now and just,
Revisit?
have the updated one already on the books. It has a commencement date
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the draft.
but for now, I'll make a motion to table
Okay.
the possible action on Resolution 2026-18, the updated contract with DLPRD on the use of the town right-of-way.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We'll put it on the agenda for next month.
It's yours, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, yep, or some background on that. It's under
Attorney Mills,
attorney's
yeah,
report,
sorry.
but I did have an agenda memorandum on it too. So, I mean, I can give a little background if Jim
Yeah, go for it.
wants, okay. So last month, in public comments, was pointed out that on our town ordinance, section 16.05.140, that we, as a town ordinance, we still require a spotter, human spotter, for water skiing, any towable activities on town lakes. So the state actually in 2017 under Wisconsin Act 163 changed that where they can use a wide angle mirror rather than a human spotter. So we're not in sync with state statute here. So I did look into the possibility of local municipalities and whether we can pass stricter ordinances if we wanted to keep that ordinance. And in order to do it, they must have a statutorily authorized water safety patrol unit. In addition, they require the specific patrol unit biannually perform at least 1,500 hours of enforcement on that lake from the enforcement patrol audit report. So we were averaging I had Robert Nealon send me the last 3 years' reports, and we ranged from 225 to 304 hours. So right now, we don't qualify for that. Now, I noticed we may approach, for halfway through summer, we may approach 500 hours there. So if we would in the future would want to try and pass an ordinance, which I've had numerous citizens say that they think that it would be better to have a spotter on a less busy lake. This may be fine, but on a really busy, southeast Wisconsin, heavily popular recreational lake, there's a lot of things going on, and for a person to, watch in a mirror and versus have a human spotter, a lot of people felt that would be better. But technically, we can't do anything until we meet the requirement. We could, as we did with the wake enhancement zones, pass or discuss a advisory resolution recommending that, but it's another matter. So, bottom line, I think we're looking to authorize Attorney Mills to update the town ordinance to be in line with the state statute, 2017 Wisconsin Act 163, and just clarify so we don't have confusion as far as what the spotter rule is for our town lakes.
And that would be to bring it in line with current state statute, which doesn't allows for the mirror,
for a wide angle mirror and no spotter. So,
and then presumably, if we update the ordinance, if someone were boating with a skier or a tuber in tow without a spotter or a mirror, it'd be a violation. They could be ticketed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's state statute. It would be right now, it's not, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's subject to us alone
I
to
don't know
enforce.
if Officer Runge has anything to add in, or, because I know we talked about this as well.
Yeah, this was brought up to me, and I was unsure if we could be stricter than what state statute was. I talked to Warden Nealon, me and him are on a first name basis now.
I know.
And he advised, and I thought I had saw some did it in the statutes, but I wasn't sure exactly where it was, and he told me where it was and sent me the statutes, that we did have to have 1,500 hours.
Yeah.
In a 2-year period, in order to be stricter, so.
So we would need 750 hours in a single year. Well, we might hit 500 or 600 this year. That's something that, moving forward, if we wanted to do something and we would hit 750 hours, we could consider it at that time. And then, there's good reasons for it, but we're not there. So I think it's better that we not.
So we're in violation right now?
We're not in violation, but I mean.
We're not consistent.
I mean, we can't, we're not gonna be able to, it's just in conflict with the statute. We're not gonna- You wrote a ticket, wouldn't stand up in court. Yeah, right. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to enforce it.
It just simplifies the officer's job if they can refer to an ordinance that matches the statute and.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion to authorize Attorney Mills to bring our spotter ordinance, ordinance 16.05.140 in line with state statute under 2017 Wisconsin Act 163. I think that would cover it, would it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Second.
All right.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And Attorney Mills, you had one last item on.
I do. This came up after last month. There was some discussion about difficulty trying to figure out who's on the East Troy Area Emergency Services District Board or membership, who's on the membership of BRB, and there were emails that were being read in, and we require during the public comment section to have people announce by name and address who they are before they make their comment. And I thought the board should consider having a similar policy when a board member receives emails that they want to share during a board meeting, that you at least identify who the email is from and try to get an address from whomever you're receiving this from, just because I think that if emails are being read for or against any certain issue, if we knew whether or not they were town residents, other board members might give more weight to what's being said in that email than if they were not residents of the town. This is just out there for suggestion. This is not something that I'm demanding to see or, saying we have to have, but for transparency purposes, I think we should have a uniform policy, whether you're here in person or you're not.
I have a related concern, and there's times where I'm sure we all get contacted by members of the community, and I think staff do too, but it's not always clear to me if individual residents, if they're bringing a concern, want their name to be shared. They may want to remain anonymous. They're just informing the board, but not necessarily putting their name on it, right? So, I don't know, neighbor's dog's pooping in your yard or something, right? Maybe you don't want your neighbor to know you're complaining. I don't know.
Well, depends on if they want it read aloud at the meeting.
Yeah.
So if we're going to read it aloud, should we approach them and get their permission to, because we would be giving their name?
Yeah, and I would say that a requirement. If I am going to be sharing this at the board meeting, I need to identify you by name and address.
Right.
Yeah, and then I think you should be careful about what we share in the packet too. Like, sometimes folks want their information, they want to be on record.
Right.
They want this information shared with the town. Maybe it gets included in the electronic packet. I've got a lot of thoughts on this because this actually has come up recently with individuals that apply for zoning and conditional uses, and I suppose this would apply to individuals when they apply for peer permits. When that gets included in the packet on the town board, on the town website, that gets scanned by bots. And then bad actors, you're going to be getting an email from Russia from time to time saying, "Hey, I'm Ben at the town board.
I got one today.
You owe $5,000. Please click here to pay your permit fee," or what have you. They're scraping this information off our site. So I think we should be thoughtful about what we include on that in the electronic packet.
It's public record. They can request it through an open record request. And because they have provided it of their own free will, it is not considered personally identifiable information that has to remain private if there is an open record request. And so what we have done is when we have, we try to make sure that when we are scanning something, and take phone numbers off, take the address off, things like that. However, if someone were to request that because it was given freely, then, but we do try to redact that information. So for instance, tonight, the liquor licenses and the special permits, those were only in the board packet. Those were not for the public
Okay,
packet.
but what about peer permits though? I've seen those in the past prior to my time on the board.
We tried to implement the process of eliminating their personally identifiable information, short of their name, and address. But like if there's a phone number, if there's an email address, those kinds of things we have tried to make sure that we are redacting. Chief Recchi, or Chief Recchi.
One of those, Deputy Chief.
There you go.
That's
I
quick.
would say that I think it was the planning commission had issues with people were getting the
Spam.
addresses off the planning commission applications, and I think sending an email saying pay your invoice or pay your permit fee here.
Right.
And they said they looked very real, yeah.
Yes, they did, and it was definitely an issue, so I agree with you.
So-
But yes, under open records, it would have to be released.
So not to veer too far off topic, but I just wanted to point that out. I think we should be careful with what we share and the intent of the sender of what they want to share. So I don't know if there's a policy or if we can provide, instruction, to residents on the website or something, but.
I also think it's setting a major precedent for members of the public sending in emails and so forth, that they would like part of the public record, but they're not making the deadline. And then those types of emails are being read into the record. We have a deadline for
Right.
these in, so that information can be provided in the packet. If it comes in after that date, it can be an additional document that they request for it to be part of the record. But if we're going to read in every email that somebody sends us that they want to be part of the public record, our public comment period is going to grow exponentially. So that's something for the board to consider.
Yeah. I don't think we should be obligated to read things into the record. I think at the very least, it should be at the individual board member's discretion. But I do think we should get,
No.
it is, but I mean.
It should be at the author's.
In conjunction with the author's intent, is my thinking.
Increase that timeframe exponentially.
The other thing I just want to put up for consideration is if we're going to take a email or a letter and just highlight and read part of it, it's important to know the full context of a letter.
Right.
And so if we're going to do that, then the rest of the board members should be copied on the full email. So at the minimum, or read the full context of the email.
I would, just to pile on a little bit, I think we as board members should be very cautious of what's shared, what's forwarded to us from individuals that are advocating for one position or policy or the other, because they may copy a portion of a correspondence from a state official or someone at county, and you don't always have the full story. So be very careful with what's shared when they're copying individuals are copying correspondence with other officials, unless you're reaching out directly to that, maybe that administrative official at the DNR or the Department of Administration. You may not have the full story.
Well, I wanted to put this on to get the board thinking about this. It's up to the board as to whether or not they want a policy or not, but I think any time that someone wants to have something made public at these board meetings and they're not showing up,
right, they
still need to be identified by name and address at a minimum.
Yeah, I mean, I've received, I don't know if everybody was copying it or not, but had a citizen that expressed that exact concern. I have to get up when I make comments. I have to give my name and address. And if an email or mailed in.
Do you have the name and address of that person?
I do. No, they did. They identified themselves. So,
well, I guess anyway, until there's a policy, we don't have to worry about it.
But anyway, no, I think it's a valid issue, a valid point.
So a policy doesn't have to be done by the board, it can be done by the staff, correct? That's what we've been doing, or is this, what is this going to be, a resolution, or?
Well, I don't think staff should be setting policy for the board. If it's a policy that this board intends to adopt, we should act on it.
And it wouldn't necessarily be a resolution, because those are only temporary in nature.
Correct.
I think that in the town code where we outline what a draft agenda looks like, we have that blurb under public comment about the 4-minute. We can maybe include a line in there about all submitted emails,
to be read.
Yeah, however you want to word it.
Is it
That's where we also say
It's-
that public comments require your name and address
Yes.
when spoken?
Yep.
I give more credence to individuals that are going to show up in person, state their name, make a statement, or send a representative than simply an email. So I worry a little bit if we go too far with a policy that says, you know, we're going to simply read everything into the. I don't think it's in the town's best interest to simply read everything into. The
No, I don't. That's not what I was even
All right.
suggesting.
Historically, we never read the emails in. There were the rare exceptions that should.
Right.
Yeah, there's.
When former clerk treasurer Buchanan and I would talk, we were like, shouldn't be done, setting a precedence. Because again, subjectivity, if you're not doing all of them, you're gonna hear about it.
I do know Chairman Clarkowski.
I was
Did
just
do
gonna
some-
say that.
He did do some.
He did do
occasionally,
some.
And we would say.
And then he's the one who
"Shouldn't have
asked it
done
to be
that."
done.
We'd be like, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So.
In his emails, he's asked.
So what are we going to do with this
I
one?
think we're good.
Well, you can
Think about it.
think about it and, you know, put it on a future agenda.
Sure.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm done.
The public has spoken. So, I'm sorry. So now we're into special pending meetings. Treasurer Loth, well, the first one is one that I've been trying.
What? Sorry, where? What? Where are we at?
We're on 13A.
Yes.
And we've been trying to get this municipal emergency operations plan meeting together. I know I provided dates. The last time we were doing this, I don't think it ever came to closure. We just saw Lake Geneva with their press releases, and they went through, I know their administrator took that on, but they really jumped on that. It was a very good example of what this group probably needs to be doing. So can we get a date, or how do we want to go about getting this date?
So who needs to be there?
Well, we all have responsibilities.
So the board.
Board, correct.
Clerk, the chief.
The chief.
Chief.
I would think
DPW.
Fire
Todd.
chief.
ABSD.
Yeah,
Yep.
fire chief, right?
Bless you.
Bless you.
I thought last time we discussed this,
DPW.
we were all generally more available than some of the staff. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, we could certainly start with the board. I don't know that all the board has actions.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
I don't believe they do
No.
either, Michelle. I believe it is the chairman and the vice chair, and then, or like a designee. The clerk is part of it.
Well, the person who's assigned as the emergency management.
Right, there's the emergency, but there's the chairman, the vice chair, the
Right.
designee for emergency management.
Right.
The clerk, the police chief runs an integral role, the East Tri-Area Emergency Services District.
How?
However, East Tri-Area Emergency Services District may be like that outside source, like we go to county, we go to, so they may not need to be present.
How much
What if-
time do you think we need for this?
What if we start by just distributing the plan and everyone take a look at it and
Certainly.
see the involvement?
See how much
And-
we think we're gonna need to.
Yeah, as familiarity at
Certainly,
least.
and then if it's staff, like maybe I don't know how much time we need for this, but maybe we do it 3 hours before a regular town board meeting to provide ample time, because then DPW, police chief, they should be around because they kind of need to be here for a board meeting anyways, and we're available on those days.
I don't think you need 3 hours. I think that once it's distributed and everybody has an opportunity to review it, some of the main things are, what is gonna be command center?
That's the biggest
You know, a
deal.
couple of things like that. I do know that Chief Gurecki, when this was originally addressed, he stated that if something happens, we're calling county emergency operations. So I don't know if Deputy Chief Remy can speak to that, but I know that was a comment made by Chief Gurecki, is if something happens, we're gonna be calling county. Well, we had to create the emergency operations plan
Right.
that indicates a command center.
Correct.
We have no command center.
Correct.
So there are things I think that need to be addressed, but I don't know how in depth.
So what if a member of the board, and I think it's Supervisor Fonz is the emergency representative, what if he takes the draft and he updates the current, he takes the current approved document, drafts an updated document for review, filling in blanks up, with updates, and then brings that draft to a meeting where everyone's available, perhaps an hour or 2 hours before a town board meeting.
That's fine.
It has been kept up to date, other than maybe some of the far-reaching contacts, like the railroad contact or something like that.
And then-
All of the local camps, the local officials, that has been kept up to date.
Okay, so then, it's assigning Supervisor Fonz a little bit of additional work, but at least we move forward and then
Well,
we have a meeting.
I think, that probably streamlined it a little bit, and I'm happy to do it. So,
It's a big document.
I started.
And then-
It's a big,
it's a big document. I saw that.
So the idea would be to come with some suggestions for these key things, these key components, or what's the intent? Is that?
A
your
proposed
understanding?
draft,
Yeah, I
maybe
think.
there's some blanks that needs additional discussion, but get it close enough where it can be discussed and finalized within an hour.
Update, just.
So it wouldn't be.
High
obvious
level,
things,
and you could
then-
present like a high-level summary
That-
of the
right.
board's activities.
It wouldn't be a draft of that contract. It would be the key
Just the
issues
key
and who's
points.
assigned.
points.
So it'd be a summary.
Mhm.
So, I'm good. I don't think we need a motion for that, do we?
Probably not, I'll just do it.
No.
Do we?
We're not authorizing and.
No.
Can we target, prior to the regular September town board meeting? I think August would be too soon.
Sure, we can target September.
All right, I'll try and get that done.
Maybe an hour and 15 before, so that there's that buffer of 15 minutes, that you have an hour to talk, and then 15 minutes to be prepared for the 6:30 meeting.
Yeah.
So 5:15.
And if anything, and then if schedules are so tough that, and we can't complete it, then maybe we get through the bits where we no longer need the police chief. We know, we can get it really close, I
I
would
missed
think.
that, what date would we?
Just the same date as the regular town board.
Oh,
meeting.
gotcha,
September.
okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, this seems to work.
I don't have that date. Well,
I'll tell you what it is.
you got it?
It's,
September 14th.
14.
14.
I gotta flip the page on that one.
I'm going to be required to be at meetings anyway.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And I think like most of the staff probably already has access to it. It's the change in the board that drives the
Yeah.
lack of familiarity.
Right.
As far as like office staff, it's literally just the clerk that was mentioned in the municipal emergency operations plan. I did think though that the board will want to consider if they want, Jen there because of the fact of getting out
Communications.
communications,
Right.
social media.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
something- However, is there
It
going
may
to
be
be
down,
power?
right, maybe down.
You know, so is that going to be a moot point?
Mhm.
But just something for the board to think about as they're reviewing the plan, because that's not part of it.
Well, the website's hosted off-site, right? It's not, so you're saying power?
Yeah, well.
It's in one of those
Well, you gotta
data
be able to-
centers
you gotta
that
be
we've
communicating.
been talking about.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta-
So the Beach Road Bridge, we already have
Have
that,
that,
so I'm thinking we already did that.
I don't know if you wanted that September meeting that you were talking about to inform the public.
Yeah, I thought we were targeting that PIM, I think it is, a preliminary information meeting.
Right.
It's like a public.
That was the reason I would put it on there.
Oh, okay. So did we, I know errors indicated to target that board meeting, so that would be September 14th. If we're doing an hour and a quarter before for this, you have a hard time doing that as well. I mean,
That's dependent on errors,
Didn't they give us a bit of a window? Wasn't October an option too?
I thought September was the target when we were on, Todd's not here, but when we were on the meeting, September was kind of the target. I think he said that they aren't going to be to us with a final design till October, November, which is pushed out a little bit, but they wanted to do the information meeting with the public.
Why not just push the emergency operations to
Push it out.
October?
Well, how are they going to do an information meeting for the public before they get us the final draft to approve?
Well, they're reviewing the proposal. It's the final design is all the detail in the
Well,
drawing.
shouldn't that be part of the public information meeting?
I don't recall, are they required to have a public information
Yes.
prior to a
I
final?
think they are.
Ooh, I think.
Prior
Yeah.
to the final, is
Well,
that
the public's supposed to have an input
before the final plan?
before the final plan, so they take what's preliminary there.
I
They say,
see.
hey, I like this or I don't like that, and then they try and do a final with it.
Let's
But
just move emergency operations to October and put the beach road in September then, because at this point, we're so far down the road with the emergency operations. I
Okay.
don't know if that's just a thought.
Can we just, I hear you, but we keep pushing out, there's always gonna be a reason to push it out.
Right.
What if we just pick a different week for the public information meeting? Like the week prior or the week after the town board meeting? I mean, it's another meeting for us, but if we keep pushing everything out, we're never gonna get caught up on these things.
Yeah.
yeah, that's my point as well.
Plus, you can't schedule around an unforeseen emergency.
Right, 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 right. It's, right.
About the time we schedule this, there'll be a,
We've had some close ones.
okay, so so there's nothing that says that you could shoot for the end of August for the emergency operations meeting.
I like attaching it to the same day as a board meeting though, because then we know we're all in town and staff are in town. If we do it a different day, schedules get really tough. And that's what we experienced.
So,
But I think we're trying to fit too much every month around the same day as the town board meeting.
Right.
Just
That's
trim-
that's
just
why I'm
trim that last
suggesting,
month, yeah.
I'm suggesting we take that PIM meeting and pick a different date for that.
That's the hard part of scheduling, is when you need such a
I don't know,
cross-section.
Joe.
Yeah,
Somebody make a decision.
right, we need to move on. It's 9:40.
meeting in September.
How about the PIM meeting the Monday following the board meeting in September?
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's Yom Kippur.
What is it? July? No.
September 21st?
We can put it on the calendar for now and revisit in August.
Yeah, because we'll have to coordinate with
Heirs.
everybody else anyways.
Yeah,
We have to coordinate with theirs.
tentative.
I'm open.
All right.
That's budget workshop.
Let's move on to the budget workshop. That needs to be sooner.
What was that one, the 21st? I'm losing my mind here. 9/21.
9:14 for emergency, 9:21 tentatively for Beach Road is what I have.
Oh, Beach
Yep.
Road, okay.
Beach Road, 921.
9:21. Yeah, we did talk about a police in Beulah Heights.
Okay. And then the budget workshop, we're
I
gonna,
wrote that down here. We're talking about having a meeting. I don't know what it is now. I wrote a
That
note
was-
at the beginning.
Yeah,
That was another,
with the budget review, like the police department structure and changes and everything.
We
Okay.
did schedule a meeting for the police department
Oh.
position in Beulah Heights.
And the Beulah Heights change order.
Change order.
right,
That's
we
the
gotta
special
do that
meeting.
quick, though.
That's gotta be
gotta
within,
in July yet.
it's gotta be within 2 weeks.
Well, the Beulah Heights change order, we have to get the details first.
We do.
Did they give us a timeline?
no, we just asked them tonight, so we'll have to follow up with them tomorrow.
All right.
Thought he said within a week.
Right. He said it was gonna be quick, but,
We'll have to coordinate through Caitlin or Jean on timing there.
I mean, I
Yep.
think they'd wanna get it to us pretty quick.
yes, they would.
They don't wanna be this hanging out there.
So,
So let's schedule a budget workshop and review of the police department.
Okay.
Budget workshop
So-
Wednesday, the 29th.
Of July?
of,
Is that
July?
July?
Can we do it Tuesday or Thursday? You'll have everything, you'll have everything ready?
I hope so. The way things have been going, when I get locked out of my computer and my circle of death of 20 minutes on Sunday.
I got a commitment.
What about that week? Yeah.
And which one,
Wednesday
29th or
doesn't work
30th?
the best.
29th.
Yeah.
Okay, what about 30th?
I can do anytime that week.
I can too, pretty much. Let me see.
Tuesday or Thursday.
Well, you can do the PD thing and push the budget to the first of
Yeah, I'm
August.
going out of town
Yeah.
Friday, so.
I'm gonna get as much in as I can. I say it every time, but I'm limited by technology.
We're just talking schedules right now.
I got a meeting on 28th in the evening.
The 30th?
On the 28th.
Does the 30th work?
30th, I can probably do it. All right. There's a Little League game, but what are you thinking, what time?
Does 5 o'clock work for everybody? On the 30th, Thursday the 30th at 5 p.m.? Michelle, we probably better check meetings.
5:30 would be better.
5:30? 5:30?
5:30.
If that works, Michelle, check your calendar for meetings.
Fine.
Just for confirmation, I'm not.
Oh, you're on vacation.
No, I'm not.
Budget
I'm not
workshop.
required at any one of these.
I'm not for budget workshop.
You're off the hook.
But I do need clarification about scheduling the public hearing on that buoy ordinance. Are we tying that to the August board meeting, or you said you know it's not getting done this year?
Yeah, I mean,
We can
obviously.
push
it's
that
not-
off for a
We
while?
can push it off a little bit. We gotta get
Okay.
it done, but
All right.
yeah, it's not urgent. We have,
We do for,
The DNR one.
yeah.
Oh, DNR, that makes a difference, gotcha. 'Cause I've been-
Just hold on that, maybe there,
Right.
I mean, other things may come up, right, where can we lump public hearings together in the event we have other,
the meeting on the
Items.
30th, it's Beulah Heights.
5:30 is the budget workshop.
Well, that's
Yeah,
budget
on the-
workshop, okay.
5:30.
on the 30th.
7:30,
Yep.
5:30 is budget workshop.
July 30.
Okay. So then that gets us to 13D.
What are you gonna do with, what are you gonna do with the meeting for the police department position and the Beulah Heights change order?
Yeah.
Well, police department, I think we talked during the budget workshop.
too.
And then the change order,
Well, can you do that? I mean, you won't have,
It's
police chief.
yeah, we will. We'll have an interim police chief.
Was there a decision made on that this evening?
We did.
We did.
Oh, maybe I was out, maybe I had stepped out.
Yeah. So we'll have an interim police chief.
Okay.
We can talk about the structure of the police department, and how it's impacted by the resignation, et cetera, during the budget workshop and go from there, I think.
Yep. I think that fits together.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then,
And
in
what
terms
date-
of Beulah Heights, we can't set a date yet. We,
What date were you talking for that?
the
The
workshop
30th.
is
Workshop for.
Oh,
On
same,
the
those on the same night?
Yep.
Okay, good.
It's all part of the same discussion.
Okay,
PD, the
that's
budget
fine.
workshop, and what else?
That's it.
That's
Beulah
it.
Heights.
Just those?
Beulah Heights, we don't know. We've
Right.
got a,
We can always add that. If you find,
Right.
if we get information, we can always add that to it.
All right,
But the budget workshop is not really a meeting, it's a workshop.
Yeah.
Right.
So there'll be a special closed meeting.
Beulah Heights, we're gonna need a meeting for,
Right. But I mean, we might find out and we can add it to that special meeting for the PD position. Because
perhaps,
that would have to be a special meeting, wouldn't it, Attorney Mills?
That
Yeah.
would have to have closed.
because we're gonna be making an,
Making a
there's
decision.
gonna be potential action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The workshop's a workshop,
Okay.
so we're gonna have to determine a time for when we're gonna call the special meeting to order. Maybe we call the special meeting to order at 5:30 and then have the budget
Start with
workshop
that first.
following that.
I think it's likely we're having the special meeting in Beulah Heights prior to July 30th.
I would assume so too.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Prior to July 30th?
You have
Review the
probably.
For the change order.
Today's only the 13th.
I don't know.
I might not be able to be
I
there
have
for
no
that.
idea.
It's not something we can
I
decide
just,
now.
I just think we
Right.
need to move it as quick as possible, so.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to do that via email.
And
Yeah.
Caitlin can
To set the date.
champion
Yeah.
that, I guess, right?
Once we hear from
So anything,
Lynch, that's it.
anything else for scheduling?
I just want to know who the expectation is following up with Ayers for the public information meeting. You guys mentioned someone's going to have to follow up with them
To do what?
to check dates, to see their availability. If
Oh,
they're available.
well, the
on
target, as we left the last
9/11.
meeting, it's every third Tuesday or something, where there's a virtual meeting. When we left that, it was to put it right before the September board meeting. So that was the expectation on their end.
That's not
We
the
moved
meeting
it
that
to
we
the
just set.
21st.
We just set the meeting for the 21st, the week after the meeting. The meeting is the 14th, the
Yep.
regular town board meeting is the 14th. You just set a date of 9/21 for the Beach Road public information meeting.
Right,
Because on the 14th, we're doing
Okay,
the
right.
emergency management thing.
right.
Okay, so, I mean, I can communicate it.
Why not just, well, I guess
Oh.
that's Tuesday. If they were expecting the 14th, why not do it on the 14th?
Why don't you just set it next month? On the August.
Joe, can you?
Let's not make any
Can
changes.
Joe just coordinate with them on that? I mean.
Yeah, I just wondered who was doing it.
I can,
If that was an expectation for Caitlin or for the board.
I can let them know. I'll copy everybody. Todd would be on it.
Can I confirm next month's board meeting is Wednesday, the 12th?
Correct.
And can I be excused now?
And there's a public.
Tonight,
hearing
the 12th, yeah.
No, for tonight.
Yes.
Jim,
Okay.
there's a public hearing prior to the board meeting on that date for the DNR. That's what I had.
On August 12th?
I thought that's what we set for Brian Fonz's.
No, we didn't.
That's the September meeting. for
September
5/15.
14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
September 5/15
Yes, Jim.
is the emergency operations. September 21st is the Ayers meeting at the Beach Road. July 30th is a budget workshop and a special meeting to discuss the police department. The regular town board meeting for August will be August 12th.
August 12th, okay.
So we're doing emergency management and DNR on the 14th?
That's the one, right?
Which one?
Okay. Does anyone
Which one's
have
the
any
DNR?
additional dates or meetings that they?
So the PIM then, with,
PIM is scheduled
No,
tentatively
that's
for
not
9/21.
scheduled.
if Ayers
We'll
will
just
make
catch,
that.
we're gonna catch that as a
We did
later
not set
to
a
be
time.
determined, because
Let's
it's
say
not
5:30.
urgent.
5:30 for the PIM meeting for the bridge, that works better for the folks that work.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
On 21st at 5 o'clock?
21st, 5:30.
Oh, 5:30? All right,
If Ayers can make it, and Joel will let everybody
I
know.
didn't have a time there. All right, and we didn't have anything before the August 12th meeting, did we?
No. Yes.
Well, the
Budget
7:30.
workshop. Budget workshop.
But not on that day.
Oh, not on-
Nothing else on that day.
5:30.
Okay.
7:30, 5:30.
Okay.
And then we did include, just for the record, just to let the public know, we did include our in-person absentee voting hours in the packet. They're published, they're posted. Meet again in a week and a half.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. So the 3 dates then is the PIM on 9/21 at 5:30. There's October